Hello everybody, and welcome to the Users Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chronolink9. It's been so long since we recorded, it's crazy. But yes, I'm Chronolink9.
Yeah, it's been too long since, so I'm Pegasus27, I fucked it up.
That's whatever, there's sound effects in the background, so I was like, I don't know, Bots is beating a chair or something.
They were footsteps, Chrono, they were footsteps. Walking down the stairs, and no, Nick, you didn't fuck up. Nick, you didn't fuck up, but yes, this is Jack Bonzo walking in the control room, walking down a flight of stairs to bring live audio broadcasting to your lovely ears, folks. It has been too long. What's up, guys?
Oh man, it's been a lot of fun. We've been chatting a little, doing a little pre-chat, catching up a little bit. It's been good. We've been talking for like an hour already, so it's
an hour. Yeah.
It's
if we're gonna go an hour just bullshitting before the show, get ready for. I can imagine it's gonna be a 3-hour club.
Yeah, but. Well, I hope not, because I need to get some sleep before tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a long time. Like, so many things have happened that we haven't been able to comment on. There was like Twitch Plays Pokemon happened, and we didn't even get to talk about that. There's been like Dark Souls 2 came out, and like everyone in our forum has been going crazy about that. So much so that activity has dropped even more than it already would have normally, like, because it's already been kind of meh. Legend Gamers went to a 2-week bi-weekly format, or not bi-weekly, but every other week. That's not it's bi-monthly, I guess you'd say. You know, once a week, once every 2 weeks kind of format. You know, there's all kinds of stuff going on in our little worlds.
Yep.
But Games31 hates Nintendo, and
oh man, I still need to go watch that video. I know he made a video about it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that Cole did a big post about it in the forum, just because like he'd gotten fed up of naysaying it, and then we read the whole like article and we talked about it for a while, but. I'm kind of with Cole on it. Like, I think I don't know. I understand where Gamster's coming from.
Well, no, I mean, there's actually, even on PathNES Punk's podcast, they kind of talked about it, and this is going to bring up a whole debate about video game crash and the retro market, but I think Gamster's justified. I mean, the prices are getting fucking ridiculous.
See, that I definitely agree with.
Well, yeah, I'll agree with that, but like his stuff wasn't really about the prices, though. I mean, like not in his original statement. I mean, I think
his original statement.
Well, his
what have I missed? It's been so long since we recorded.
His original statement. Well, his statement was like he posted this big thing on his website like back in February, right? Mm-hmm. And it was something like, let's see if I can find it. He might have posted it on the forum. I don't remember. He didn't in the Ultimate forum if he did, but nah, he wouldn't have posted it in his own forum. Does anybody even go on his section of the forum anymore? So nothing was posted in there since December 7th of last year. So that'd be a no on that regard. But basically his big thing, let's see if I can find it here. Games31.com, Nintendo. Why I'm boycotting Nintendo. Yeah, his big statement about why he said he was going to for his, he said like stuff about Wii U, lack of excitement. Then nostalgia. He got a video flagged on Nostalgiaholic that asked him to turn monetization off.
Which video?
It was on his. It was a really stupid one. I will agree with him on that. It was on his Game & Watch review.
The Super Mario Brothers one?
Yes. I don't even know how that got flagged.
That's right.
And then so he's like doing it, and he's just like, he like said stuff about like the 2DS being released, and he's like, this
That's how I feel about that video game flag.
oh yeah, no, it's really that is that bad. He's like he's comparing stuff to the Pippin, and I was like, what are you saying? Like,
Adult Pippin?
yeah, he's like, I wouldn't be sad if Nintendo struggled. I believe sometimes it takes a nice slice of humble pie to get companies back where they should be. And it's, to me, it's as if he didn't live through the N64 and GameCube eras, because Nintendo was not really on top during those periods of times. Like, they weren't quote unquote failing, but they weren't really doing that great either.
Yeah, but they've broken a lot of ground in 3D platformers.
Yeah, true.
They
but
did.
like,
I mean, well, but then again, that's like where it's all Nintendo basically started to depend too much on their first party shit.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other stuff suffered, and the GameCube's finally getting its recognition overall.
Yeah, but times were really tough for the GameCube though. Like
Yeah.
people, like I don't think people really talk about that very often.
No, I remember
or like
because,
understand that, but like Nintendo was not in a very good position at that time.
No, I remember I was the only person I knew for a while that had a GameCube, and like I said, I bought it for the Resident Evil series because they were exclusive to Nintendo at the time. And I remember
Right.
like close friends, they just hated on, because it's one thing not to have a DVD player, which the Wii and the Wii U obviously still suffer from. But I remember like people, the whole kids toy vibe that Nintendo was giving off at that time. For some reason, the tiny disc actually bothered people that I knew personally. And yeah,
That's interesting.
I don't know. It was the dark times. But
Yeah, they were tough times.
It's-
People got spoiled on the Wii because Nintendo just couldn't lose with that console. That and their handhelds have always done well.
Oh, yeah.
Except for, well, the Virtual Boy, which wasn't really a handheld. It was
They
whatever
marketed
the
it
hell that
as a
thing is.
handheld, and it flopped.
Yeah.
I just watched the AVGN Virtual Boy review.
There's a train coming through. Bots is trying to catch a 2 o'clock out of.
The Midnight Train to Georgia.
I was about to say that, Nick. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, back to Gamester. Though I remember, now that you mentioned the Game & Watch, I remember that review. I remember that original article. And plus, when I think of that, it goes back to like a. Sorry, I gotta hop on the boxcar. No, there was a heated post on Facebook by Magnus or Magus X1, and like he was disagreeing with it, and a bunch of people like we all kind of threw our 2 cents in there, but there was something towards the end or his other debate. Didn't it go towards like he didn't want to collect Nintendo games because they were
Getting expensive.
dramatic pause?
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they were getting expensive or they were too hard to find or in the wild or there was something along those lines. Wasn't that at least a portion of his argument?
I think sort of. I'm looking here. Yeah, he says he will continue to purchase retro Nintendo products and games. And he says, and if there's an upcoming Wii U or 3DS game that I absolutely can't live without, I'll buy it used. I mean, I'm against boycotting in general because I think it does nothing unless you I just can't get over that train.
All right, I'm going back inside. Hold on.
Okay, this train. Shut up.
No, he's got to get the password. You know,
I gotta get the.
He's got to contact the chief and get.
Yeah. I used the armor key in the mansion.
But yeah, I mean, like, what was I saying though? Something about. Oh yeah, I don't think boycotts really work unless you get a really organized effort going. Like if you're just doing it for personal.
Enough people need to stand and say we're not going to buy anything from this company because one person isn't going to do shit.
I mean,
100,000 people, yes.
I mean, like Gamester does have some sort of a little bit of influence, but like, I mean, I'm a fan of Gamesters, and I'm not gonna stop buying Nintendo products just because I think they're making poor decisions. Like ultimately, it comes down to, I think Nintendo already understands that they're struggling, like, and that's why they're trying. That's why they're like, it looks like they're coming to that realization, And so I think pretty soon, like within the next couple of years or so, they're going to be starting to change their strategy around a little bit.
They got to. Here's
Yeah.
here's a good thing I think they need to start with, because we were kind of talking about fighting games for a little bit before we started recording, and like Evo Evolution's like basically like the Super Bowl of fighting games.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's like a big tournament. And this year, Super Smash Brothers Melee, the one for the GameCube,
Yeah, Melee.
like it has a cult following,
Mhm.
and like it's been in the past 2 years, counting this year because it got back in. Especially a good fan movement last year got it in, and
Right.
it had been in before, but the game's obviously X amount of years old, but it still has the fan base, which is surprising because Brawl for the Wii isn't as popular. But the
Yeah.
point is, now that the new one's coming out for the Wii U, Nintendo really needs to embrace online gaming for one thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And they need to tweak this game, give it patches, and actually support it in the fighting game scene and make it, it's only a win-win, because last year before the fan movement, there was like a lot of bullshit on Nintendo's part. I think they stopped it from being streamed. I want to say for the Wii U game earlier last year at some point, like the storyline got leaked, and for a time, I don't know if this is still true, but
No,
they were
there's-
actually going.
It wasn't.
I was
No. The thing that Sakurai talked about was that Super Smash Bros. Brawl, all the story content got leaked online like early, and so he was kind of disappointed about that, because he's like, well, now people can just go on YouTube and watch it. So he said that they essentially canned the idea of like a story like what Brawl had for the new one, just because he wanted to sort of avoid that kind of stuff. So there's not going to be a story mode.
That's stupid. That's
I mean, like,
That's-
it is stupid, but like the story mode, as fun as it was in Brawl, it wasn't necessary, really.
okay, true, but they need to make up for it by embracing the online community, or at least.
I think they will. I think that's where Namco will come in. Like, I think that's where they're going to be coming in handy, because they're helping with mechanics and stuff. So, I know Sakurai. Like, as controversial as it is, Sakurai doesn't really like making a technical fighter. Like, he's out to make a game where everyone can have fun. And like in when he's making Smash Brothers games, because like he's admitted himself that he's not very good at video games, and so like I think this is him. I might be misquoting him, but I don't think he liked seeing Melee take on the life that it did, sort of the metagame with all people breaking it and wave dashing, and that's how it's become a competitive fighting game. That being said, I think even though he doesn't like that stuff, I mean they've obviously made improvements to the gameplay. They've taken tripping out of Brawl. There's not going to be that anymore. They're really making a move to make the game more kind of more balanced, for people like that. So I don't know if they're going to be embracing the fighting game scene, because I think Nintendo likes to distance themselves from that. But at the same time, I think they're trying, bringing Namco in the mix. I think they're going to be making this more a game that fighting game fans could enjoy, while still retaining the same, basically party atmosphere that Smash Brothers is supposed to be all about.
Yeah, because it definitely is a party
some
game.
depth isn't a bad thing in any fighting game.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, but I don't think Sakurai likes calling his game a fighting game. Like, I don't think he likes designating them as a fighting game because of the kind of the way the fighting game community is, I think he likes sort of keeping a distance from that a little bit.
Oh yeah,
That's true, but then again, I can't blame him.
Okay. But it's
Go on,
just saying, that I love Smash Brothers. I think there's a lot. I'd rather have something with a little bit of like that perfect balance of depth, but accessibility. Otherwise, you get something like Celebrity Deathmatch, which is an absolute butt match. Oh my god! The thing about that game is I bought it new. I unlocked everything in about an hour and a half, if that. So.
Hey, I played Monsters Inc. Scream Arena on the GameCube. Yeah, I I think that's all that needs to be said on that spot. The friend of mine who had it, he's like, yeah, I unlocked everything in like 30 minutes in this game.
Wow.
He's like, I beat story mode in like a half hour.
So since Nick brought up Celebrity Deathmatch, I could go off on another tangent, but I'll just simply say that back to the fighting game community, I can't blame Nintendo for not wanting to be affiliated with them, but they over the last 2 years, the fan base is strong. It's their own community. They're in it, obviously. But the thing that's funny though is like, you mentioned like dashes and whatnot.
Wave dashes.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with like in-depth tactics on Melee, but aren't the Star Fox characters like the most broken in the game?
Oh yes, by far. Even in like mid-level play, which is about what I'm at, the attacks are just so cheap, like unbelievably. Like Fox's up smash attack, like it's fast, it's ridiculously strong, and it's got like a crazy range to it too. That's like the worst part about it. Yeah, the Star Fox characters are just broken. Yeah.
I think Fox won Evo last year, which is kind of funny because he's pushing for. Yeah, I mean, top tier. Obviously, they're pushing for this game to keep making a resurgence. Yet, it is broken in the sense there are like obvious top tiers. Yeah. Yet the community still embraces it, and they're not playing the top tiers. But
I mean, that's the thing is that like, the game wasn't designed to be played at the high technical level that fighting games are made for. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's just the honest truth of it. I think that they might be doing a little bit more in this game, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. Is going to be my ultimate.
So basically, Fox in Smash Brothers is like Shy Guy in Mario Kart.
Shy Guy in what?
Mario Kart 7. Because Shy Guy was top tier.
No, he wasn't top tier. He wasn't top tier.
No, he was just Pete Dorr. He was Pete Dorr.
He was Pete Dorr. No, here's the thing. And plus, I need to get off my ass and download that because we need to get a resurgence of that going.
Yeah, because I got the game, so, anytime.
Here's the thing about it. Shy Guy, he's top tier, but any of the, like, basically less weight characters are top tier because I use Koopa Troopa. In fact, the funny thing is, back when LMG used to play, eons ago, before the poll even started for the users, I used to use Wario all the time, and he knew me as Wario player because he used to be on there a good bit back then. He was actually pretty damn good too. But then by the time it got big enough where it was like me, Nick, Holly, Sinister Moon, Clive, like all of us like regularly on a regular basis, like LMG was already gone from the scene then. But it was a good scene back then. Back for that month of December, way back when.
Oh man, like those first. Oh, that was so fun.
Dan was good.
I remember. Yeah, Dan was really damn good, but no one could beat Pete. I remember when Pete was streaming it. No, I think I might have beat him once.
I had him one. I remember.
Yeah, not many people could outdo Pete Dorr.
No, that's the thing. If you beat Pete, you remember it because Pete was, godlike.
Yeah.
It was fun though because Nostalgic Dan was probably underneath Pete, and then everybody pretty much I remember me and Clive were pretty much even matched. We always had good races, and no offense to Holly, but Holly she was low tier. What can I say?
Oh, ouch.
She picked low tier characters. It wasn't her though. But then again, it goes where she was playing the game for fun, and it always was fun.
Yeah.
But for reason Pete, you couldn't beat Pete on that shit. Pete, you had to get lucky at him.
I always had the fun for me was trying to beat Pete. It's always you always trying to do better, and someone edges you out, you gotta try and get back. The competition part was fun, but I didn't let it completely ruin the game.
No, I mean that was the thing about it. I mean, we all got our asses kicked, but we would play 4 hours at a time. It was it was good stuff. We got to get that going. At least we got to get it since Chrono's got it now. So at least the three of us can play.
Unless,
and some people in the.
I would say unlike Call of Duty, where they take the game so fucking seriously that bash everybody, that you kill somebody, what the fuck, you stupid Pete, oh my god. COD players, a lot of them take the game so fucking seriously that, oh, my KD is better than yours,
This is
Shut up.
This is why it's really fun playing online with people who don't give two tugs. So, oh yeah, I've never used this phrase around you. So my friend Josh read this comic book where they used this amazing phrase, and I use it every once in a while. And the phrase complete out is, I couldn't give two tugs of a dead dog's cock. And so I like using it. Just because it's a very vivid example, and you really know what they're talking about when you describe that. So,
an old friend of mine from the comic shop, he used to say "dick, not cock," but I've known that phrase well. But let me ask you this real quick, because I want to jump into a topic. But before that, one last question about Smash Brothers. The Brawl for the Wii, could you play it on a regular pad, or did you have to use motion controls?
You could
Yeah,
you could do whatever you wanted.
Well, why didn't?
Yeah, I always tend to use a GameCube controller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Why didn't it take off like Melee did? Like I guess in the scene environment.
The online wasn't as good. The mechanics. The game was a little slower. It runs a little slower than Melee. Some of the there was like tripping was a big thing, and there is some competitive nature to it. Like there's tier lists and stuff for Brawl, but it just didn't catch on like Melee because the mechanics weren't all the same. There was some air dodging. It was different. Like there was like this added weight kind of to everything that made things a bit different. You know, it was just kind of a different game, and people didn't like all the changes and stuff to it. So. You know, that being said, there is still there's kind of a scene for Brawl, but it's nowhere near as big as Melee. You know, so.
Okay, let me bring this up because this is going to be tricky. Okay, we got to talk about a game that Nick hasn't played. We kind of already discussed this. Nick, do you want to step away for like 5-10 minutes? We're gonna keep it short. We're gonna keep it short.
Right. Okay. I'll take off my headset and you guys can talk about it. So.
All right. Well, I will message when we're done.
Yeah. Okay. I got the chat pulled up, so let me know.
All right. 3 hours later now.
Yeah. Really.
You're good.
Okay. All right, Chrono. What game would that be?
That game is A Link Between Worlds. Probably my game of the year last year.
Well, I'm gonna think like Last of Us. I think came out then.
There was a lot, and there's a lot I didn't play too. So I don't know if I could quite go that far yet. Just Super Mario 3D World was really great and everything. Like I played it at a friend's house, and we played through like 3 or 4 levels together, and it was some of the most fun I'd had in a Mario game since like Mario Galaxy. So then there's also Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance came out last year.
Oh yeah, I finished that. We'll talk about that. But let's stick to Zelda because we don't want to leave Nick hanging too long. But I guess let me go first so I can just give you my basic rant about it, and then
okay, all right,
hear your feedback.
Let's hear it. We'll hear it.
Okay, because before, let's see, you knew kind of my gripes with the game. The first being, I can't even remember the guy's name, but the purple guy in the shop.
Oh, I can't remember either. I'm horrible.
Okay, see, that was my first gripe because I was like, this guy finds you in the middle of nowhere, takes you back to your house. It was convenient storytelling, right? It was very convenient. Too convenient. Okay, but I was like, okay, I'll finish the game to completion, and it may or may not have panned out. Okay.
I just want to call him Popple, but I don't think that was his name. He was like shoot. I think it started with a P though. Hold on, I'm looking it up because he can't bother me until we get.
Yeah, some Zelda fans we are, no?
Yeah, no, I know, really. I'm like, friggin', we just painted our window. Like we have these windows in our dorm, and long story short, we painted ours in the shape of our floor, like here at school. So in my room, I have a Triforce as to represent me. So I mean, yeah, some Zelda fan I am. Yeah, Ravio, that's his name.
That's it, Rob. Okay, well, yeah, that was convenient, to say the least. Okay.
And then he gives you the
bracelet. Oh yeah, that was another big part. I was like, okay, he gives you this item, this bracelet, that smells like shit. Okay, it's musty, might even have cum stains all over it. Who knows? Who knows? It's musty. Okay, and it somehow plays a huge role. I was like, even more convenient storytelling. I'll let it slide though. let me backpedal a little bit. Okay, I got the 3DS XL bundle
Mm-hmm.
for Christmas. I was smart enough to open it ahead of time, cheating the Christmas spirit. But I'm lucky I did because I downloaded the game because it came with the digital download. So I downloaded the game like a week early, so I would have it to play on Christmas morning. Which luckily I did because the servers were full from Wii U and 3DS owners.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to play it otherwise. So my goal for Christmas Day 2013 was to obtain the Master Sword. Okay? And right before I did that, and I think we talked about this briefly, at least on Facebook, right before you get to the Master Sword, you have to go through a puzzle.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even that difficult. But that just rubbed me the wrong way. That really pissed me off. I
remember you said that, and I was like,
I was irate gamer.
We had irate gamer. What a reference.
Yeah.
You know, it's really okay. I'll have to talk about that when Nick comes back. But
okay.
But I remember because we had it was like a half-hour discussion, me and you back and forth about this. I remember it because I'm like, I don't understand what your problem is, and you just kept going, and I was like,
because I remember at first you were like, well, it is a video. Talking about the merchant, you were like, well, it is a video game and it is somewhat convenient. And I was like, and I let that one go, but I wouldn't let this little puzzle for the Master Sword. It was a gimmick. It was a stupid gimmick. It pissed me off to no end. I obtained the Master Sword on Christmas. Maybe a month later, playing it off and on, I finally beat the game. And here's the thing. Going through it, at first, I felt it was lacking an epic quality. Like, it didn't feel epic. And that was because, and I'm not people complaining about the dungeon layouts. I've never been one to critique dungeon layouts in a Zelda game. It doesn't bother me that much. I actually enjoyed the new weapon system, the meter. I enjoyed all of that, especially for a handheld. It made sense. I liked it. It was cool. Playing through the game, it just lacked an epic feel. It just didn't have some of the characters. There were some things that caught me off guard, like the witch. When you ring the bell, she comes and picks you up. When she finally doesn't come, she starts sending the broom. It was clever because at first I was like, oh, I'm calling her too much. She's just getting lazy sending me the broom. I didn't know she was one of the sages or whatever.
You didn't realize that, at the time.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Gully, the missing child. I think I asked you that. I was like, do we ever find Gully?
It's like, does he ever come back? And I was like, yeah, don't worry, just wait for it. You were just like, yes. Oh, okay. I just went.
That was a good little twist. Okay, so there were some character traits. I mean, it seemed too linear in a sense. It was lacking something epic. But
that was funny because it prided itself on non-linearity, and that was the part I probably liked the most about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, you could go, but then again, that really doesn't, or I don't acknowledge the whole dungeon layout thing too much. Now, granted, it was more like the original Zelda in that sense, but anyway, I guess the characters you interact with, and plus, it is a sequel to Link to the Past, regardless of what anyone says. That game obviously had an impact on me, the character relations. I would have liked to see more history with the flute boy, little throwbacks here and there. There are probably things I'm missing, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you also talked to me about how are you supposed to get the Pegasus boots?
Yeah.
Or something, because it took me so long to figure that out, like an embarrassingly long amount of time, because all you need to use for it is the wall mechanic. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, little things like that. I mean, it was one of those things you think outside the box, but you really don't think about it too much.
Yeah, and and that's what I really liked the most about it, was because it's a very simple, very simple mechanic that's new, but it does require you to think outside the box a lot of the time. Like in parts, I was like, I can't figure out what to do, and then I'd just be like, why am I not doing this? And then I'd be like, oh, now I can figure it out. So I think they did a really good job of introducing that in a way that keeps it in the forefront of your mind, but sometimes you just can forget about it just because you're not used to playing that way, So
yeah, exactly. And plus, speaking about that gimmick, as I referred to it on past podcasts, I mean, the imagery looks cool. I like the idea. It seemed weird at first, but it made sense to the narrative. And I mean, that won me over. I wasn't going to gripe about it until I played the whole thing full circle. I had my gripes, but to evaluate it properly. Long story short, I felt it was lacking something epic. But then again, the dark side version of Zelda, Hilda, I think her name was.
Yes.
I saw her being evil. I spotted that. That's Bizarro World 101. Yeah. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, no, my brother called that too.
Yeah, but I didn't see the shopkeeper, Ravio.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. That was a nice twist, and that validated the whole convenience earlier in the game. And I was like, okay, I accept
because he's the hero.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're basically spoiling the entire game if you haven't played it. But
Oh yeah, well that should be. Well, we made Nick leave, under these circumstances.
That's true.
So people should have figured out. I'll put a disclaimer in the description.
Yeah, in the description. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that validated a lot of things, and then that gave it that epic feeling that I felt was missing. And again, going back to not feeling it was epic, that goes to the handheld format as well, because at times I felt like I was just rushing through the game.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but I was just, I was trying to get get shit done, so to speak. Anyway, those plot twists validated it, but ultimately, the very end of the game, when you finally beat it, and it says the end, it closes on a shot of the Master Sword, and that gave respect to the Master Sword, and it validated the gimmick earlier. Like, I just felt that because it ends on the splash screen in 3D, and unless you push a button, it's going to stay on the splash screen with the squirrels and birds roaming around the Master Sword, and it sleeps again forever until somebody else gets it.
Exactly.
But overall, I thought it was a great game, and it is probably easily my second favorite Zelda game.
Yeah, it's.
And that's not because it's Link to the Past not clone, but a sequel or tied to it. There were nice. In fact, the first time playing it, it really didn't hit me until when you try to get into the church and you have to go underground to get into the church, and it plays the dungeon theme or the underground theme, and that really took me back. I was like, okay. And then nice little touches like that, sprinkled with nostalgia, great touches. But overall, and here's the thing, I think I should note is because. Two things. You didn't have a Navi character holding your hand through the entire game. You didn't have a guide slowing you down. It was straight to the point.
Yep.
And also ties into that, whenever you open a treasure chest, it was straight to the point. You didn't have like a cinematic, pan around angle drawing it out, which isn't a bad thing, but that's something Zelda games have grown accustomed to, plus they've gotten longer over time.
Yeah.
This was like a nice throwback. Plus it was just a straightforward overhead Zelda game. Granted, I haven't played the DS versions, but you said they were kind of crap anyway, especially the one about the Spirit Tracks that were outside earlier, the TV station.
No, the Spirit Tracks one, that was, honestly, to me, that was the better of the two. A lot of people poo-poo that game, but Phantom Hourglass was just not, I'm going to have trouble coming back to playing that game in the future. But as good as your companion in that game was, Captain Linebeck, he's probably the greatest Zelda companion ever. It was just but yeah, I was very pleased with A Link Between Worlds. I really like talking to my brother about it, because we were both kind of playing it at the same time, and I know he went through in hero mode, and he said it got pretty challenging at points, because the thing that I like the most, it was the first time I died in a Zelda game in years and years and years. I think I did die. I think I had died a little bit in, I'm not going to count Skyward Sword, because I did die a few times in that game too. But this felt like a good, genuine challenge, for the first time in a long time. Puzzles were really mind-bending. There was especially when you go to the Dark World the first time, it's just like A Link to the Past, where an enemy hits you, you just lost 4 hearts. That kind of thing. It was just like, oh my gosh, I have to be careful. A real sense of urgency, and I definitely get where you're coming from with, because thinking back at the story, it's not really the best Zelda story really out there. It's got some good stuff going for it, but I think the thing that kept me with the sort of epic quality that you were talking about was the music. The music, the remixes were just the best I've ever heard. The remix was just spectacular.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about it. Even when you go to the Milk Bar and you pay the people to play. I think Zelda's Lullaby or whatever. That's a great rendition.
Really? Oh yeah, that really takes you back. There's even a rendition of the Ballad of the Goddess from Skyward Sword in there too, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so
But yeah, I will say it was my game of the year last year.
yeah.
Last of Us, stuff like that. I enjoy playing Zelda more, and Last of Us is epic, and we'll get to that later when I actually finish the game. But easily, yes, it was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look around for people who've ripped the soundtrack online. It was just really good. Particularly the last dungeon. I didn't realize it for a while. I think I was accidentally playing with the sound off or something, and I didn't realize that like as you progressed further in the final dungeon, like the music got more and more built up and like really like they did a good job in that too. So yeah, so that's about it there. I'll bring Nick back.
Bring Nicholas back in. But yeah, if you haven't played it, play it.
Oh,
Which you
yeah.
probably already have, so except Nick.
Yeah, poor guy. All right. Oh yeah. So the thing I was going to mention earlier. So we were talking in the middle of that, Nick, and I remembered because Botsa said something like, "I'm irate gamer." Well, speaking of irate gamer, it just okay. So I like. It's something I have never really talked about on the podcast very much at all because like I only really started getting into Game Grumps probably over the summer. I mean, I'd listened to them before and stuff, but like, I don't know. I'm a fan. So, one of the best episodes was, I've talked about this before. I have talked about Mickey Mousecapades. Bossy, you see
yeah,
that,
because
right?
that's like the one episode I've watched all the way through. And not because I don't like them, but that for some reason that was just and like I didn't know that was an irate gamer reference.
Yeah, that's basically what he's making fun of. Like he's just doing broke ass angry video game nerd quotes that aren't good. Like in other words, he's trying to be the nerd but not having any charisma or likability. So he's brought that back on a few times, and Aaron was the one that did that, and every time he's done so, the other guy Danny is always like, no, we can't do this. Like I can't do this again. Like he starts dying because like the first time it happened, he was laughing so hard. There was one part he was like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up Skittles. But yeah, it was like, and so me and my friends here at school just love quoting that. So like this game's a bunch of poopy ass dicks.
Shit.
Covered in dick waffles. Smothered over a fat girl's titties. Come on, game designers, get with it. Yeah, it's really great stuff. If any of our listeners have not seen that, like you really need to go see that. It's not fun for the whole family, but it's fun.
All right, let's jump to another topic.
Let's
do
something.
There are some films I've wanted you guys to watch, and besides the fact I'm not going to hound you about Big Trouble in Little China. It should be accepted that one day you too should embrace it and watch one of the greatest films in cinematic history.
It's on Netflix, so I'd really have no excuse not to.
Yeah, you need to watch it then. But there was another film you watched recently, Chrono. Would you like to enlighten the listeners?
Yeah, that film was a little Ron Howard epic that came out in I think it was 1989, called Willow. I finally got around to watching Willow.
Tell me more.
It was excellent. It's such a fun it's a fun movie, really fun. It's got Val Kilmer cross-dressing and like.
It's funny that you point that out because that seems, especially with certain other people I've talked to, they refer to the film as fruity, and. But to me, like I've said,
I can see where they're coming from with that, though.
You can see where they're coming from. But to me, it's, especially since I grew up with Willow before Star Wars, and that's nostalgia, obviously, but it is the premier Lucasfilm title in that catalog. It belongs up there with Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
You know what? It does. I think it does.
Yeah, especially because it's an '80s fantasy film, but it's not like Kroll. It's not like all these other ones. It's epic in its own right, and I think the fruity aspect is the fact that Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis, they play the odd couple so well, because you got to think of it.
They do. It's so great.
Exactly. I mean, if you can't go into it too serious, because it's half fantasy, half comedy.
Yeah.
And it's really, and even like the wizard, like you want to compare Gandalf to like the wizard, and that like this one thing I've been waiting to tell you now that you know what it is, Chrono, and I hope you remember it. Before they send Willow off on his journey, the Grand Wizard, the bones tell me nothing.
It's
Just here's the thing, you can't knock on it because little people are portrayed as actors. To me, they do a fantastic job. They got plenty of heart and soul. Willow's wife in the film, she may not be that attractive, but there's heart and soul in that performance.
Oh yeah,
the wizard is the tops. Burglecut, now you know who the fuck Burglecut is. He was outstanding.
Oh, he was great. Yeah, they were all like, there was really heart and soul in there, and it was, I don't know if it was around the time where they got rid of the droves of little people that they had, working for them. I'm thinking like, like Munchkins and stuff like that. That was back in the way earlier than that. But
Kenny Baker's in there. He's got a cameo. I don't know if you saw him, but he's in there somewhere. Not gonna say where.
Yeah, I don't think I remember. But yeah, no, they did. It was just, yeah, it was a lot of heart and soul, definitely. Like, was definitely in that. Like they didn't play it too serious, but the thing was is that they obviously cared about the role. Like, they knew they were hamming it up, but like it was done in a way that was like, it was done fun. They knew they were having fun with the movie.
Mad Mardigan, the greatest swordsman who ever lived. This is classic shit, man.
Yeah. And of course, I think my favorite thing was like, it was like, because there's like the whole, they're caring about the baby. So like a good fifth of the movie is like cut to a shot of an adorable baby reaction. It was like there was one part where like Mad Mardigan was like, "Oh, don't worry," it was the first time they met Mad Mardigan, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of her." And there was the reaction shot of the baby was just priceless, because like they had caught a moment where she had her eyebrow raised, like, looking at him. It was just,
like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just priceless. Like,
there were good baby shots in there, no doubt. And plus, like, the whole drag scene, the whole not a woman.
Yeah.
And see, before we even started the podcast, it wasn't on Blu-ray. And it was one of those films, it should have been on Blu-ray. It finally got the Blu-ray release. And plus, like, the morphing scene where he actually turns the sorceress back into her human form, like, that was groundbreaking computer animation morphing. And
yeah, they did a really good job on that, actually.
And see, people knock this. And see, this is like the age gap, because usually, like, the kids, like I said, I grew up with Willow, so if I was like, less than 10 years old, the people that grew up with Star Wars are like 10 years older than me. They kind of think it's fruity or whatever. But like the troll dragon that appears in the two-headed dragon that appears in the film, it looks goofy.
It does look goofy, yeah.
But see, here's the thing: it was a troll. I mean, it wasn't like it was put, like like a whole reptilian dragon. It was made from an ugly ass troll that shit on the floor everywhere.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah. Plus, I don't know if you noticed this part. This is a good Batsa reference, Chrono. But at the end, when the I guess female wizards, whatever you want to call them, when they were dueling, the good one has the
witch duel.
The witch duel at the end, the good one has the wand, and she just starts going, and the evil one's just like flying around all over the place. That's Batsa. That's Batsa definition right there.
That was pretty great, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I mean, the thing I really liked was like how I won't spoil it, but like how everything sort of came full circle in the end. I think you know what I mean by that. Like like in the defeating of the villain was sort of a full circle moment. Like,
oh yeah, the disappearing pig trick.
Yeah, and it was wonderful, because it was like because that's the sort of thing that's like good storytelling right there. Because
Yeah.
it's like a gag that pays off because and the thing is like you're not even expecting it. Like that's a good like character arc right there kind of thing.
Yeah, plus you knew the baby would have been safe when it happened. You knew because he fucked it up earlier.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there was there was one other thing I wanted to say about it.
Yeah.
It might come to me later.
The
but-
music was amazing.
Oh yeah, the music's epic.
Bum-ba-da, bum-ba-da, ba-ba-da,
Oh, I remember what it was because
da-da-da-da.
when you first watched it, you messaged me on Facebook. You were like, "It was a good movie," except for you said it was a good movie with Val Kilmer in drag, with close-up baby shots, and then you mentioned the bad poetry. Which the bad poetry, that's part of hamming it up too. But
Yeah, that was
I love that part where she's like, I forgot what it was, but she was like, he was like, it went away. She was like, I blah blah blah, and it went away. Just, if you haven't seen it, that's what I'm saying. Especially since you like Lord of the Rings. I'm not trying to compare them, but I'm saying I knew that you would like it since you like that.
Huge Tolkien influence, especially at the beginning. It was basically like Lord of the Rings, the film version, before Lord of the Rings, the film version. Like, it's as close as you were going to get to it. Because, especially with the whole... It really felt like it was in Hobbiton kind of thing, in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it really had that vibe going with it, and I really liked the beginning stuff. So...
Definitely. I mean, I knew you would like the genre. Plus, like I said, it's good. You go into it as half comedy as well, and don't try to take it too seriously because some people are just snobbish against it, which is validated. But at the same time, it's a fun movie. Right. It's a singular Lucasfilm movie, which it demands respect. And if you haven't seen it, watch it. You'll like it.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
it's one that's low enough radar that I don't think they'll ever touch it again, and that's I think is probably a good thing. And by probably a good thing, I mean that's definitely a good thing.
It is a good thing, and that's the thing. Is like it kind of rubs me the wrong way that it's been kind of underrated or underlooked, but ultimately that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I think
because
so.
It's protected it in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well we'll move ahead because some people might not give a shit about Willow. Plus Nick's over here would have spoiled the entire film for him, but
Wait, is he still here?
I am.
Okay. He's like, oh, what's going on? There's a Willow.
The bones tell me nothing.
Yeah,
oh,
man, you should see it, Nick. It's fun movie.
Yeah.
It was great too because I got to go home because I was at home, and it was like one night my parents had gone to bed and I was just like, because most nights when I was at home for spring break it was I'd either watch. Because my dad has an Apple TV at home, so I'd like watching stuff on Hulu because I got a free month Hulu Plus account because I have a 3DS. I don't know. So there was that, and I'd watch. I was catching up on some anime, so I'd do that or I'd play some Lightning Returns during spring break. But one night I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna watch Willow tonight. So I found a streaming site on my iPod, and this is the great thing about the Apple TV is that you can stream stuff that's on your iPod and just put it up on the big screen. So I get to watch Willow in like, as close to HD as I could basically get, without owning the Blu-ray. So it was good. I really enjoyed watching it up on the big screen and. It was great getting to watch it on my TV. So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely. But now there's some other stuff we never got a chance to talk about. Twitch plays Pokemon. Anyone?
Oh man.
Did you catch any of that, Botsa?
Of course not. But I did.
I drifted in and out. I would kind of drift in. I would mostly catch up on like the updates on the like the Google Doc thing
or the Reddit.
I would drift into the stream every once in a while, but not like watch it for 8 hours as they accomplished nothing.
Yeah, like what was the deal? Because like it wasn't one person just streaming the game. It sounded like a bunch of people were playing it at once.
It was one person. One person had his emulator on his computer, and he had made this finagled a way so that commands in the Twitch chat were working the emulator. So if you pressed A or B or start or select or up, down, left, or right,
yeah, they ended up taking
chat
the
field
function out of it because it ended up being where it would enter the command where you'd reset the Game Boy.
Yeah, yeah. They eventually took select out because there was one point, and I was actually watching at this point too, and I was like, oh, they took select out. So, but yeah, that was really early on in the stream. That was probably at the 3-day point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you entered that stuff in the chat field, and it would work. But see, the thing is that when you have thousands of people at a time entering stuff in, the Game Boy the emulator
command was about a 30-second delay.
Yeah, that also was confusing too. There's about a 30-second delay. But the thing was that when you have thousands of people entering it in, the Game Boy was only registering maybe about like, you know, God knows how many at a time, maybe like 8 or 9 at a time. So like, you know, it's just the funniest thing to see this character like walk up and down, walk into a wall, open the start menu and look at
circles.
Open the start menu, look at look at an item that he can't use, close the inventory, walk in another circle, enter a building.
Consult the Helix fossil every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and like the best part about it was that like all this whole thing. I have friends who are just huge Pokemon fans. Like it's basically a staple of our childhood. So, so we were all getting into it, and there's like the whole meta like religion about the whole thing, and it got really wild. Like, you know, there's the whole cult of the Helix fossil. There's all this fan art about it, and
fan art. I mean, you had I didn't see too much about the dome fossil, but you had like the false prophet Flareon.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Pidgeot, the bird Jesus.
Bird Jesus, yeah. Lord Helix, who is the god basically of the.
Yep.
All has been ordained by Lord Felix, you know.
Lord Felix? What the Felix the cat? What the hell?
No, Helix.
Yeah, no, what the fuck? I mean,
Felix.
Let me get this straight. Now, like, I don't know that much about Pokemon, but you guys talking about a lord, and did you just say Bird Jesus?
Yes. Yeah, Pidgeot, Bird Jesus. God. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one thing. So, like, because when you catch a Pokemon, you can nickname it. Because it was like in you know, complete anarchy. You know, a lot of the time they would accidentally name it like just crazy stuff. So like A B B B B B B K was Abby, their starting Pokemon, who accidentally got released, which was amusing.
Speaking of, like, there was like Bloody Sunday where like
6 Pokemon
got released.
Yeah, 6 got released.
Fortunately, most none of them were fucking Safari Zone.
Yeah.
Catch.
None of them were really that good though, so it was okay. But the worst was when they lost their starting Pokemon. That was like, oh dear. That was where Bird Jesus started to show his true nature.
Oh, man.
He came into his own, I guess you could say. He got baptized, I guess was the...
Yeah. The ledge thing was...
Oh, man on a ledge. Yeah, there was a bunch of man on a ledge jokes.
Yeah.
Because there's this part in the game where there's no moving room, up or down, and you have to like walk straight for like 20 steps to...
Yeah,
and if you go down, then you fall off a ledge and you have to start the whole thing over again. Mm-hmm. They were stuck on it for over 24 hours.
Oh, man.
So, yeah,
I think
so there was lots of
arts...
so there were lots of ledge jokes, like man on a ledge.
The best one was a Photoshop, Gary Oak sitting in a computer.
Oh, yeah.
All...
Yeah, that was Gary Oak. Yeah, it was...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
but...
I think Jay Witz did a top 10 best Twitch Plays Pokemon moments.
Mm. Yeah, and they started a season 2 with you know, gold and silver stuff. It really didn't catch on as big as the first one, and really, like, me and my friends all said, you know, it's kind of over. Its time in the sun is pretty much over. You know, it's still gonna continue on. I think they're gonna do Emerald next. There'll still be thousands of people there, but it's not near like the, you know, tens of thousands that were in there at a time before. So, but there's still it's still funny because there's still like lore stuff going on about it, like quote unquote. So
Yeah, the backstories of why this shit happened.
like their lead Pokemon in Gold Silver was what was he called? Laser Gator was what their nickname for him. Laser Gator. And there was like this whole like controversy called Lasergate about it, because there was like a huge divide in the fan base that some people were being like, okay, so Botsa, partway through the first game, they introduced this democracy anarchy system. So anarchy was basically the way, like if the game was set in quote unquote anarchy mode, the game was being played the way we've already described it. If it was in democracy mode, then the 30-second delay was kind of null and void, because every like 30 seconds or so, the chat would queue votes to see how many people would, so you'd vote on what move you wanted the character to do, and it would take like 20 to 30 seconds to input it, and whatever one got the most votes was the one that went through. So the problem with that is that it slows down tremendously and it's not as much fun to watch. But like, at the same time, they got more. You were able to get more accomplished when it was in democracy mode. There was all kinds of, and so I think the Laser Gator thing was some sort of controversy that people were saying democracy mode's ruining things and all this stuff. But I don't know. It was a bunch of crap. They beat the game anyways, so. So it's whatever, but yeah, that was a thing. It was entertaining, to say the least.
Weird, wild stuff.
Oh yes, indeed. So I just got this. I just read this thing on Facebook. Nick liked it. Poker player loses bet. His friends rename him. His name got changed to Full Metal Havoc, more sexy, intelligent than Spock and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova.
Oh,
he legally changed his name. Hello?
Yep, he did.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
That's something else.
If that was me, my friends would either demand I change my name to Bieber Lover or Fred Phelps fan. Because that's how my friends work.
Oh God.
Let's turn this on a positive note, because I know Fred passed away recently, and I know he deserves the negativity you all are gonna say, but don't fight fire with fire.
Yeah,
he's dead.
I know I said
Barry's in hell where he belongs.
I know I said something in the before we weren't recording. I'd said something. But yeah, like to be honest, like if anything, I just felt pity for the man. Really, I didn't hate him. I know he hated a lot of people. I didn't hate him. I couldn't pity I couldn't pity probably anyone more in the world than him. Like, because he was just so ignorant and
yeah.
And
he was. It's a shame too, because he had such a control over others.
Yeah.
That followed him, and that's the whole. I mean,
pretty much his own family and the ones that went and joined him, which I think was the Drain family.
Yeah. It was just.
So well, I call karma.
The funny thing is like I never knew what he looked like until like a week ago. Whenever all these pictures on Facebook feeds are filling up, like he's on the brink of death, and you saw pictures of him, and he was always wearing that cowboy hat. And then whenever you see posts, always the sign says God hates fags. The only thing I could think of when he died, I saw him with that cowboy. God hates fags but loves cowboys.
I find the ultimate irony that all the Westboro guys end up in hell, and then like all the gays and U.S. soldiers make it to heaven. That would be irony, and that's what I'm hoping.
No, see the thing. I'm surprised there's not like Brokeback Mountain jokes being made or something.
Oh my God. Oh, I remember. Yeah, they picketed Heath Ledger's funeral for Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how this thing pans out now that he's gone. But I don't know. These people, they're just ignorant people. Ignorant people influencing other ignorant people. But
yeah, it's a real shame, you know. But well,
I mean, some of us, bro, the family members actually got a clue and left the church. Because I remember hearing a Nate Phelps. Yeah, like Nate Phelps, I think one of the earlier ones to leave. He was telling. I remember seeing an interview with him where he was telling the story about how he left. He had bought a truck secretly, and he had it hidden, and he had packed up all his stuff, and then waited till at midnight on his 18th birthday before he left.
At least someone got wise.
There was a few of them that got wise. Yeah.
That's pretty much the only consolation. Yeah. Are you taking off, Batsa?
What?
Like that just got louder and louder. That reminded me of the nerd's newest video with the going backwards. Just gets louder and louder.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm about to land the Top Gun ship. Hold on. Let me mute it for a second.
I think one of his best closing episodes was when he found the LJN game that wasn't shit.
Yeah, I just saw that recently.
Yeah, Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, and he was just, and he like, it's like, I don't believe it. An LJN game that's
it's
actually
not shit.
Yeah.
It's shit.
Yeah.
And like
Speaking of,
the light comes down on him. He's got his hands out like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate Christmas miracle. An LJN game that wasn't fucking shit.
Because I'll mention this real quick because it kind of goes into what we were talking about the Zelda chat earlier, Chrono. Mm-hmm. And that was because back when we had Johnny on, we were talking about Johnny's movie, and I gave my views on the Nerds movie. And like I said, I'll always change my opinion once I see the final project.
Right.
But basically I was saying that like I didn't agree with it. It didn't seem true to the nerd. It seemed like some kind of wacky movie, which again, it is a wacky movie.
Right.
But I will say this, it seemed from the trailer, it didn't seem like it had the heart and soul of the nerd. That being said, I trust his judgment because his last episode, and I want to say this is back when like the Trauma episode was the Toxic Crusaders.
Oh, Toxic Avengers?
Yeah, Toxic Avengers. Back when that was happening, like those, like his episodes, his actual nerd episodes have been damn good as of late. So like, I mean, I still respect his judgment, and hopefully, you know, I'll enjoy the movie and see it for what it is when it comes out. But I still want to see like I was just hating on his movie, and like, you know, praising Johnny's or anything.
Yeah.
But the nerd movie seems like something, I guess, because of the new characters and all this epic, you know, plot and everything. It seemed foreign. I think that's what I was saying before.
Right.
And it may or may not, but you know, ultimately, it you know, we'll see what it is. But he's hit the ball. He's hit a home run on these last nerd episodes. So
yeah, he really has. Shit. Especially this last one that came out, the Big Rigs one. Like, I wasn't sure at first, but like after seeing it, I'm kind of with the people that say that's some of his best work.
Yeah. Well, that was a good one. I mean, the Lloyd Kaufman Trauma one was definitely kick-ass. But no, the Tiger handhelds. Did you guys see that one?
I'm not sure. I can't remember if I saw that or not. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Go back and watch that one because he's dead on that shit. Thegame.com, shit. I'm right there with him. That was the Tiger handheld was a damn good one too. But
yeah. Entertaining watch, definitely.
I don't know what else we've missed. I'll mention this real quick because I don't want to go off on a tangent. But it's a shame that Harold Ramis passed away. He was definitely one of my. He's fucking Egon, for God's sakes. Yeah, and that's
he's like the best character, you know, pretty much. It's arguable. I mean, I like Bill Murray.
Egon. I mean, all the Ghostbusters. I mean, that's those are like my children. You can't pick one. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Ghostbusters is Ghostbusters. It's beyond anything or as close to it. It's definitely, but also, I mean, he directed, you know, fucking Caddyshack, which is like one of the greatest comedies, if not the greatest comedy. So I really respected him as an actor, writer, director, everything he did.
We're waiting.
Oh, I wish Bracy was here. Bracy, we're on the same level when it comes to Caddyshack. Oh god. Ted Knight steals that movie. I mean, you got Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Murray's great in it. People love to quote Bill Murray, but you know, God's sakes, you got Rodney and Ted Knight just killing the shit. Good lord.
It's pretty spectacular, yeah.
Oh,
I need to give that a watch again. I haven't seen it in forever.
Oh man. So yeah, it's a shame that he passed, and hopefully they won't make a Ghostbusters 3 now.
They won't. They definitely won't.
I really hope they don't. Yeah. The game counted as the third movie.
It really did.
And it sucks. And like I told you guys before we started recording, my PS3 broke. I might actually get a 360, and the main reason would be is because I could play Ghostbusters online because the PS3 servers are down. Yeah. And that game was fucking amazing.
Yeah. It was 360 servers are still up on the.
Just the PS3 ones are down. Now I need to check because the 360 ones might have gone down, but only the PS3 servers were down for the longest time. I mean, I'm even on a Facebook page, save Ghostbusters for PS3 because it was good online co-op and it was all team based. It wasn't, it was good stuff.
My brother really liked Ghostbusters, the video game. So.
Plus, I recommend playing the game. The game itself. It's good, but like I said, now play it more so because it really is the third movie. And plus, you got Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, you got all of the voice actors back, and it really is. And friggin' Moranis. Did Rick Moranis come back for it? He did. No, he didn't. He didn't. Okay. Annie Potts came back in, who was Janine Melnitz from my staff. But yeah. Ernie Hudson too. All of them were back. Good stuff.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, it was a real shame. A friend of mine started watching watched Ghostbusters like pretty soon after that the passing happened, and it was great because I was so glad to have come in on what maybe possibly it's arguable what the best line in that movie is, but one of the best one in is yes, it is true. This man has no dick.
I was thinking the exact same one. This man has no dick. You can easily apply that to... There's so many people you can apply that line to. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters 2 as well. A lot of people going back to Willow. A lot of people don't like. They frown upon it, but it's still great.
Yeah, I probably should have jumped on it, but I saw it was Ghostbusters 1 and 2 together for like $10, maybe $15, but I wasn't sure if the edition was like the best one I could have gotten, so I didn't get it.
That was like a green double pack, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Honestly, if you want to get nerdy about it, which of course is a nerdy podcast, especially if it's been talk. Yeah. The first edition DVD of Ghostbusters, that's the one to get because that one actually has the best transfer. It's better than the Blu-ray. And if you get table into color hues and whatnot, the edition that came out before the dual pack you're referring to, it was the original one, and it had like a cover was like purple background. It had the four of them like on the top of the Zool building or whatever. That's the DVD you want to get because it actually has like the truest colors and like the.
I'm seeing it. I can get it for like $5.87 or something.
Not bad. I don't think
here it is. You can get 1 and 2 for like $11.
That's the green pack one.
Is it? Because like it's weird because they're showing the.
Are they showing the disc?
Yeah.
Or the disc like sketches or whatever?
I don't know. This is weird now. Now there's like. Oh no! The ones you're talking about, jeez, those are expensive because they're out of print. That'd be why.
They weren't that good, but.
What, the old ones?
I mean, they're not worth it if you can't get them for like $10.
Yeah. No, you can't because they're out of print probably. So. At least maybe this could be just the double pack is my appearance. I was just trying to find Ghostbusters 1, and it's on 2 here. And I'm just looking for the first one. That's all I'm looking for. One thing I liked is we had a magnet on our fridge for the longest time that was a Ghostbuster, and I don't know whatever happened to that. I loved that thing. And
it's funny because
That was before I even saw it too. Like, I was always like, oh, sweet Ghostbusters, and then I finally saw it, and I was like, why in the world? We had like that magnet on our fridge. Why in the world did I never see that movie?
It's funny, like everybody's posting these like Throwback Thursday pictures on Facebook. I need to dig up some childhood photos of me because like this one, there's a couple of them like back when I was like 3 or 4. Like one of them I was like dressed up like in Sunday, church attire, but I had the Soul Thundercats like in the picture with me because I love that toy, so I brought it with me. And there's another one where like I have like I guess it was like a Halloween costume, but they didn't make like Ghostbuster Halloween costumes. So my mom got me like it was like a pilot's jumpsuit, like a blue jumpsuit, and I was wearing that. And then she had I had like a Ghostbuster sticker on it. And these are like portraits, like you go to Sears and get a portrait. It's like a portrait of me as a little kid in a little broke ass Ghostbuster suit. So back
Nice.
off, man! I'm a scientist.
Yeah. That's probably that might be my favorite line actually. Back off, man! I'm a scientist.
The Nostalgia Critic did a good top 11 on it was top 11 moments you never really realized. It was how do you put it? It was the top 11 moments or things you didn't notice that was right in plain sight. Like, things you didn't notice.
I'll just check that out.
Yeah.
Apparently the new Blu-ray is actually pretty good though. It's like the 4K one.
Oh, yeah, that one probably might be a little bit better. But
I don't know how new it is, but like
I've got the regular Blu-ray.
they said there was a Blu-ray release and then they re-released it in 2009, I think. So.
Well, I don't know when I got I don't have a 4K version, but I've got a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I've got like 3. I've got the original DVD, the double pack you were talking about.
Green pack,
and the
yeah.
Blu-ray,
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that I picked up the okay. I never get to talk about this. But there's some movies I've gone and seen recently. Within this year, I went and saw Frozen, which was actually technically last year. That was a Disney movie. I saw that twice in 3 days. Then I saw the Lego Movie. And I've went and seen the Hayao Miyazaki's last film twice in theaters also. So so yeah, that's been fun. Let me do that. And yeah, Frozen was the movie was amazing. I'd go for ages about that, but neither of you care, so
I think the last film I saw it was Iron Man 3, and then I saw Anchorman 2 with a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
And that was it was Anchorman 2. I just think the funniest part was at the beginning where they're doing the newscast. And I think the line was, "The Tooth Fairy's exposed breast made the child uncomfortable."
Oh, that's so lame, but very funny also.
I think the first movie was Anchorman was so good. The best line was, "Go fuck yourself, San Diego," because he will read anything on the teleprompter.
Just the way he said it, yeah.
That was a great movie, that first one.
Have you seen the second one?
I have not. I haven't seen it. Is it good? I've heard it's basically more the Anchorman, kind of.
It's funny, but it does get ridiculous. Let me give you a spoiler that you're not going to see coming. That's fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Just listen to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Harrison Ford transforms into a fucking werewolf. That's all I'm gonna leave that to your imagination. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't know if I can still function after that one.
It's weird, wild stuff.
I can't I don't even think it could be. I don't even know if I can. I don't know if I can imagine that in my wildest dreams. It's probably.
But I think the funniest part was at the beginning. The Tooth Fairy's exposed breast made the child uncomfortable. I mean, the rest of it's, it's going to be silly as shit, but just little one-liners they can sneak at me up.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Oh, man.
Great. Oh boy, somebody brought back this, so I'm leaving the podcast thing again, which I told them to drop like 10 posts ago.
That Johnny thing?
Yeah. People keep bringing it back.
God. It's done.
I told someone to drop it a while ago.
Yeah, it should be obvious he's not coming back.
In fact, I
think
I'm the one everyone's quoting. Oh, never mind. Anzi came in and ganked it. But everyone was quoting me for a while, saying, TL, too long didn't read my post. Stop beating this, in parentheses, long, dead horse and enjoy what you have.
This long dead horse. What?
It's been 2 years since
it's
left.
yeah. It's a long. It's a dead horse that it's this long. Like it's been dead for a long time. Horse. It's long dead.
Being a dead horse with another dead horse.
Oh, pretty much. Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
He left 2 years ago.
That's funny because I think was he gone from the podcast when we started? It was right around that time.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was around the same time. I think. Yeah. I think it was before because the last post before this Chamo guy brought it back. I don't know who you are, Chamo. You probably don't listen to us, but you have a weird fetish with Johnny Melanin. But anyways, JR was the last person to post.
Is that that guy?
Is
that the guy that has like a young picture of Jason Heine as his avatar? Who is that guy?
This guy's gotta be.
I didn't think it was Jason. Now that you pointed it out,
I think it is. It looks like him. The only reason I know that is because people were giving him shit about one of the kids in The Wizard looks like him.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about. But anyways, so the last post in this was in April 25th, 2012, which was a few months before we started. It was JR, who's, he's a big contributor to the forum. He's got over 1,000 posts, and he's still pretty active, and so. But then February 9th, this guy brought it back. He's like, well, I guess he really isn't ever coming back. And then I made this gem of a post that was like, does it matter that much to bring this back up again? Bottom line, Johnny left. His life is going great, he's got things in order, and he has lots of time to do the things he couldn't while he had this to prioritize. The podcast was a commitment for him to do every week, and even though he doesn't have a movie or wedding to plan for, he can focus on gaming and working on his YouTube channel. So what's the big deal? Johnny's not gone. He's just channeling the stuff he wants to say through his YouTube channel instead of the podcast. We got someone to take the reins of his spot, and he's doing a damn fine job if I do say so myself. Metal Jesus is not Johnny, but he's a fantastic host all the same, and has offered a unique insight on the podcast. Besides, Johnny never promised that he would come back after his life got unbusy. I say this when, as many people here might know, Johnny was my favorite host of the Elgin Gamers, and still is. The guy got me interested in the whole YouTube gaming community, and got me involved in this community on Pete's Gamer Forum. If it wasn't for the gateway he provided, I would not be as interested in collecting as I am today. I look forward to his new videos every Sunday, but the podcast has evolved without him, and it would be nice to have him come back. It's not realistic, and the podcast is doing just fine without him. And then too long didn't read. Stop beating this dead horse and enjoy what you have.
I like that insert of long in there.
Yeah, it's just like long.
Hey, this is I'll just mention this real quick because I don't know if this has any relevance, but back to what I was telling you guys before the podcast. I spoke with Johnny. I'm not going to go into the reasons why or anything, but there was a part where I was trying to extend an olive branch, and I was trying to, basically, because people take me out of context easily, I was trying to explain this whole deal to him. And one of the things was regarding Pete and Strider, which I told you guys about. It's no big deal, but the thing is if you go way back in our history of the podcast, I want to say it was the second episode. It was the episode we had Dodo for a while. I know that for sure.
Episode 2, probably.
The second one.
Okay, that was our second episode. In that episode, there was one point where, see, the whole gist I'm getting at is I didn't I don't want Pete to think I'm giving him shit or like there's any like negative energy at all. But during that podcast, I remember Dodo Fro said that he bought a plushie from Pete, and Pete even mentioned this on All Gen Gamers. He understood the humor, and I was like, you might want to check it with a blue light or black light to see if there's any cum stains on it. And like, the reason I mentioned that is because that was relevant in like the justification I was giving Johnny at the time for what you guys know about, and Johnny Johnny cracked up and he was like, that sounds like something I would say. And I was like, oh, of course. And it just makes me, because like, really, either he left the podcast when we were starting or he was already gone.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy because like, the reason I mention that is because you just said it's been 2 years, which is crazy because, hell, we'll be 2-year anniversary coming up in a few months.
Yeah, and we've
only recorded like 2 episodes since.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Remember back when OKS was going full steam? And like they were like All Gen Gamers, I have no idea. They're in the 150 plus episodes probably. I have no idea what episode number they're on.
160.
But remember,
163.
Okay, remember.
Yeah, it's close to 170. Yeah, 168 I think was the last.
But remember back then, like OKS was going full steam, and like remember, like say if All Gen Gamers was at 50, OKS was at 50, and like, they had been started at the same time, and like OKS was like, well, we don't record every week, and we would be, they weren't saying we would be up to speed, but you could notice the gap in between. And now we've been going 2 years, and we did 40 episodes, so it's just kind of funny the way. Yeah. The way it's been dropping off, but it's a shame because it seems like the forums and podcasting in generals. I mean, the Rad Rascals are still going. A lot of people are still going. Press Start's back, and it's good that things are still going. Yep. It's like there's no downtime, which there is downtime, but it's not like everybody's just out of it or whatever.
I remember when Pete brought us up for the first time on the podcast, and he mentioned that he's like, man, they're talking about like Pete Dorr, like fucking Sonic dolls. It's like the greatest thing. He's like, and it's like the greatest thing. Like, he thought really highly of that reference. So like,
I'm glad. Good fun. He's a Sonic.
Exactly.
Fan.
Yeah,
it's all in good.
He got it. I mean,
yeah, he got it. That was the thing. Yeah.
No. So I was, worried because I don't want, easily I can be taken out of context. And I didn't want that plus the Strider thing to come back. But obviously he got it. But it's just. I don't know. It's just that good humor that it does. Well, they still do joke dirty on All Gen Gamers, but it's obviously not gonna be the same without Johnny. But it's still gonna go, and hopefully he'll come back sooner than later to be a guest on there. But
yeah, the guest is great. Yeah.
People do need to give that shit up though. When's he coming back and blah blah blah.
Like,
especially when they're talking about like they don't need to be saying, because I know that it's obvious to make the comparison that. Metal Jesus, he's the replacement, and what if he came back? What would they do with Metal Jesus? And people going, Metal Jesus is great, but he's not Johnny. It's fair to make those comparisons, and it's also not fair.
Yeah, because they're two completely different people.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. In fact, I think the biggest shame was of anything, and this has nothing to do with any of that except Metal Jesus, is when Hey Listen lost the Metal Jesus episode last summer, because it was such a good episode.
Yeah, that sucked.
And it was so much fun talking to him. It really was. He's such a great guy. Really.
I'd like to talk. I mean, I got to meet him in Portland and we talked briefly, but maybe it would have been cool to have him on the podcast. And it sucks y'all didn't miss that podcast.
Yeah.
It sucks that y'all that it's funny because like when the users died down, it was because Lachlan, we all couldn't get together. And that we couldn't record. He was gone. We weren't complete. Even K Coop, if you guys remember that name, all of our longtime listeners.
They all know. They all know what we're talking about. Hey, Coop.
Yeah.
Love you, Coop.
Yeah.
Really do.
I mean, come back, please.
And like I stepped down because it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't because I'm still gonna pop. I'm sure I'll pop up whenever y'all do record and Zach gives me a heads up. I'll be on. Hey, listen. It was just one of those things where like they were still going full steam. You guys could jump on there. It's positive energy both ways. But then again, real life got in the way. They kind of slowed down. Yeah. And plus, even at the time, I don't know if this is known, but I'll give a shout out to my boy Pestro. But Pestro was supposed to be my pick to fill my place in the users. Like Metal Jesus was for Johnny.
I didn't even know that.
You have a bad memory.
Really?
But no,
I don't remember you telling us that at all.
No, if you dig deep enough, because it was a thing, because like it would have been putting a burden on him, because back then I was recording and editing, and then that was the whole reason I listened, because they had like a streamlined operation. But even back then, you had to take up the slack to get the things on iTunes, because I know Dodo Fro doesn't listen anymore because they're not on iTunes.
Yeah.
Like we were like YouTube only, broke asses getting things done, and like we didn't want to invite him into the fold and it just be a burden. Like, oh, here you got to record and edit, do all this other shit. Lachlan, we didn't know how to do any of that stuff then. And plus at the rates, but it's just a shame that we need to get Zach, at least Zach and Cole, have guests on the user.
Yeah.
Oh god, a crossover.
Yeah, that'd be fun though. Actually, come to think of it.
Speaking of K-Coop, is Zabin? Is he? Hopefully we can get some.
Is he live? Yeah, I don't know. I have all I've seen from him is like his Facebook. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember Zach told me back near the beginning of the September, like that Zabin was going to be super busy all school year long, and that he just can't really make that a part of his anything right now, just because he had I know he's I think he's acting, I think he does that, and I know he's I think he had a bunch of club commitments and stuff at school or something. And
no. Here's the funny thing, because this is gonna tie into me giving Lachlan shit. Because the thing about Zabin is he's a young man going through high school. He got real life. It's understandable. Okay, these things happen. And plus, I always joked that there would come a time in young life when he got a girlfriend and real life responsibilities, he would drop the podcast. He would leave us behind. And the reason I mentioned that is because I shared this with you guys on Facebook. If you go back and listen to episode 19 of the All Gen Gamers,
you need to do it.
There's a particular audio question from a former host of this very podcast. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You guys can elaborate, but that's all I'm going to say. And
Ickle Lachlan. That's what I said in the chat. I said we Ickle Lachlan. It's adorable.
We have watched that young man blossom.
Yeah, we sure have. Because I could not believe it when I heard it. Actually,
I remember because I had just listened to it. And you were talking about I forgot what the previous question was about. And you were going through it in real time on Facebook,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you were like, oh my god.
Yup.
Because it comes out of nowhere,
man. It does. And then I also put, aww.
Let's don't get started on some of that stuff, because I don't want to get into the whole debate about people asking, what should I start collecting?
Oh yeah.
Because that's still, I forgot what that's still recent. I think that came up on something recently I'd read or listened to or something. That's question's still going around, which we'll cover that another time. We need to. I don't know. Is there any other news topics we
what
missed?
Stuff should I collect? Hey, how about 6 months worth of?
Yes. If you guys have any more news stories, you can bring them up. But very quickly, I'll go over games I've been playing.
Do it.
Like I said earlier, The Last of Us, I was halfway through it before it shit the bed. I think it's a great game. I know I've said this in the past about the Uncharted games, being like you watch Blu-ray movies, and these games are like interactive movies for the format of the PS3. Last of Us was no exception, especially in the oversaturated zombie market. It's definitely top-notch. And the gameplay itself, see, that's the core. I didn't like the gameplay too much, but it really ties into the narrative way more so than Uncharted. Even though Uncharted was more fun due to the platforming, the combat and everything made more sense than The Last of Us, and it really was a great game. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, I beat that. That was that was like a. Okay, like I said before, I've even said this to Bracey and Johnny, that was like a next-gen Strider for me. And Johnny agreed. I don't think Bracey's played it yet, but it really was. It was like an old-school Genesis game. It was just crazy as shit.
It's crazy as shit. It has a great difficulty level. It's not long at all. And you know what? And that's fine. And you know why that's fine? Because the replayability in that game is insane.
That's good arcade gameplay. Plus that slow motion, cutting people in half, ripping out their spines.
It was just so good. I played through that game 3 times, and I could go back to it today and still get as much fun out of it. it blew me away when I played that game. Like really really enjoyed that. And that music, my friend Josh came by the other day with his Vita, and he took his headphones out and he's like, "Guess what I've been listening to all day?" And I was like, "What?" And he took the headphones out, and it was the soundtrack to that game. The soundtrack is just great in that game.
Nice.
It's got that that metal kind of hard rock stuff going with it. So good stuff, definitely.
It was a good game. It was silly, but it was good silly. It didn't matter because I didn't care about, even though I followed the Metal Gear games and I know I can follow the story somewhat good, more or less. But I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, it was, like I said, it was just like an off the wall game that was fun as hell.
Right.
Other than that, let's see. Okay, obviously Zelda. I've been playing a lot of stuff here and there, Neo Geo, Genesis, but I will say Street Fighter 4. I finally bought that Arcade Edition 2012 or whatever, and I'm looking forward to Ultra. But I have a love-hate relationship with that game because, and Injustice, which I'll just quickly say I liked it, but I traded it. We'll get into that later because I'm just trying to save time. With Street Fighter, you really have to get into it because there's like frame data, focus attacks, dashing, canceling super moves and special moves, all kinds of shit that really takes precision. And that's the thing people don't like about fighting games, because if you go online to play, there's a learning curve and you really have to be dedicated. That being said, I finally embraced Dan as my main character, and I play the best when I'm playing Dan, which Dan is a kind of a spoof of SNK and more or less a weak character compared to Ryu and Ken. He's a joke, but that's just so I get shit done. And
Dan. Dan. Okay, who's Dan? I'm trying to remember who the hell Dan is. Now I'm looking up and I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
I play best when I'm Dan because it's more, because the easiest way to say it is the footsie game and just basic fundamentals I'm good at, but like when you capitalize, like basically when they say you punish your opponent, when you get an opening and you do all these combos, my execution's not there.
Yeah.
And so I have to keep things simple. So it's better for me just to chip more or less and do things slower with Dan, even though he's not the best choice, because Ryu was my choice in Street Fighter 2, and all these other characters, I just don't feel I can do them justice, and I just play her when I'm Dan, and that's it.
Yeah, it's saying here that he's intended to be like an SNK spoof, like his attacks like parody like the style moves in SNK games.
Oh yeah, because like like when Ryu throws a fireball, like Dan throws a fireball, but it only goes maybe an inch, and that's it. And it's very.
Street Fighter love right there.
Oh man,
it's funny.
But other than that, what else have I been playing? That's pretty much it. I still have a lot of things in the backlog for the PS3, which I can't get around to anytime soon. But I'll just keep it at that.
Right on.
Want me to go?
Let's let Chrono go because I know Nick. That's the main event.
Okay, there we go.
God forbid,
always got the main event.
6 months of backlog for weeks. Door has been playing.
Here we go.
Yeah, God, just don't.
Just don't. Oh man.
Anyways.
Okay, what?
I've limited a lot of my gaming to 2 games, one console game and one handheld game. And the console game has been Lightning Returns. Really, really, really enjoying this game. It's really funny to me when, because I read some reviews where they gave it, some people gave it decent scores, other people really criticized it, and some people said something about, they were like, well, I don't feel anything about the plot because it doesn't make any sense, and the main character...
Hello?
Yeah, what? I was just all of a sudden... it's like, all of a sudden... I don't know what happened there.
It went silent on my end.
Oh. That was because all of a sudden a sound started, and yeah. Anyways. the critique to the story was like, I don't understand, I don't feel like I'm getting to know Lightning at all. Like the game's, she's the main character, but she doesn't have any emotion. And like that's actually a critical plot point that's been mentioned like a dozen times about where I am right now, and is like part of her motivation right now to like figure out why those are lacking. So the fact that they don't care about the plot, like it's understandable to say like I don't like the plot, but to critique something when the plot is already addressing it, like you're just it's just so biased because people I don't know, like I can understand if you don't like the games, okay? Like they're not for everybody. I understand if you don't like the first 13. I can understand if you don't like 13-2, and I can understand if you don't like this game. But like when you're not even bothering to address key stuff that the plot itself is actually addressing, it just pisses me off because it's like you're just ignoring it for your own convenience to make the game sound bad, you know? It's just like,
Or are these like fans of the game, or like actual fans? Are they kind of the people that are like more or less bitching because it's not what they want found, because they don't like the direction? It's the people who gripe about 13 to begin with.
it's basically that, as far as I could tell. You know, I mean, pretty much the people who are going to play this game are people who played the other games. I mean, if I'm being honest, and that's not going to be that's not going to be loads of other people, but it's going to be enough. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm cutting in right here. Our good friend Dodofro's profile picture. You need to see it right now.
What is it, Carl Winslow, or is it something
yes.
else?
On Facebook.
I just couldn't get over that. I saw that, and I gotta like that immediately. Sorry, I just. And then his comment on his own photo: "I would buy a Carl Winslow themed video game." And you know what? I'm right with him there, actually. That's. Anyways, yes. But the gameplay, it's been the first. I'm right back into it, huh?
No, I was just joking because two things. Because I was thinking about Carl Winslow, he was in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And
then he was.
And then it goes. He was in Die Hard, which goes back to that lost
That was actually
episode.
one of the things in the Nostalgia Critic video that Carl Winslow makes a cameo. Oddly enough, playing the same type of character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's like in that Lost Christmas episode, which may or may not come to fruition. We'll see, depending on how long it is. But me and Chrono, we talked about that in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Because he shows up in that too, and it's like shit. You want to think that it's Carl Winslow in all those movies.
Yeah, he is Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
And then that he's on the jobs being a real good cop and everything. He has to come home to Steve Urkel in his house.
Anyway, Final Fantasy 13 X3.
Yeah, Lightning Returns. Yeah.
Wasn't it called like Verses, or is that a different game?
Different game.
Because remember, I was like Final Fantasy 13 Verse 3, like verse like a church verse, or
your verses. Yeah. You're thinking Verses 13. That actually got renamed. You know that, right?
Oh, to what?
It got renamed. It's called Final Fantasy 15.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. It's the next numbered title. You should look into it. It looks very good, and I mean, people's hopes are pretty much riding on this game, so it better do well.
Yeah, thanks like Final Fantasy 4. But
all I heard was Final 14. Fuck. That's all I heard.
Oh no. If that shows up in the recording, oh shit.
I hope so. It's pretty great.
I was gonna say that's the name of the episode, probably.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14. Fuck.
Oh, I just love how the episode title just comes naturally. that we don't brainstorm the damn thing. It just randomly comes up through the episode. Like, oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but
We'd have the
Good
same
widow.
soul if we brainstormed it.
I'm trying to think of times we have done. Maybe Lachlan did it in the past.
I
I'm sure he did.
brainstormed about the episode where I talked about Clearly Canadian and no one knew what the hell I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
I've never come across one person. I've talked to like so many of my friends. No one knows what I'm talking about. And I feel so alone. Like,
Now, just to be clear, those were the ones like in the blue glass bottles.
yes.
That would have like the cherry
Yep.
logo like at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
That was
They
delicious.
still make those, right?
No, they don't. Not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. What did happen to the sparkling water craze? It kind of disappeared.
It did sort of disappear, yeah. I mean, it still sort of exists in some form or another, but it's mostly moved to seltzer. Like, seltzer is, like, the big thing now. Like...
What's that stuff Jumbo Junkie drinks?
Oh, shit, I don't remember.
Fresca.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't it?
Fresca.
Fresca.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind Fresca. It's not great, but, you know, it's not...
It's okay.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, Holly said, Fresca's gay.
Oh, yeah. It's like, Fresca's not
I think I
gay.
created a fan art, and it was like one of those demotivational poster things. It says, Fresca, not gay. Therefore, Twilight is still gayer. 'Cause I hate Twilight. I fucking hate Twilight.
I think every man alive probably hates it.
Man with a brain.
Right on.
for
It's
sure.
like-
I think a lot of women hate it too. So there you go. At least maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, but in any case,
Nostalgia Critics Top 11 Dumbasses in Distress. Number 1, Bella. So, I'd say that says it all.
indeed. Yeah, but yeah, the getting back to Lightning Returns though, the gameplay is very, very different from anything that has come before in any of the 13 games. So in those games, it was sort of a blend between like real time with like, you know, you're selecting attacks and stuff via turns. You know, it's a lot more lightning fast sort of paced, but like you know, there was sort of like a timing to it, and you know, it was you still were going through turns essentially. This game, that's completely different. Everything's real time. You actually are controlling where the character can move, which is a first for like a Final Fantasy game. You know, like in a battle, you can actually control, you know, walking around the enemy and stuff. You have at one time in battle, you have like 3 sort of move sets, which are the costumes. So like one of the things that this game emphasized was like there's like over 100 different outfits that you can wear at a time, and as well as being, you know, different looking aesthetically, the outfits themselves come with inherent abilities that are like, you know, so you have to keep that in mind when you're setting up your battle set.
So is it in a way like the dress spheres from 10-2?
In a way, but you have 3 of them available to you at a time. Like you're in battle, you have to switch strategically between the 3 of them. The difficulty of this game comes from knowing what to equip on each thing, because there's like, you know, there's loads of different moves. So there's, you know, just your basic attack, but then there's different kinds of that attack. So you can level up the strength of that attack. There are magic spells and different versions of the magic spell and stuff like that. So in this battle system, you only have like quote unquote 120 point, like I'll just say you have like 120 points for the meter for your they're called schema. So when you start a battle, you're wearing a certain costume, and you can, you know, you'll do your attacks, what have you, but you'll have a limited like allotment of points to use in that particular costume that you're wearing. Then you have to switch to the next one, and while that one's refilling, you can attack in another one, and you can switch back and forth between the three of them as you see fit. So that's kind of the sort of basics of the battle system. The difficulty in it comes in, selecting that you can only have 4 attacks or defense things at a time on each each sort of outfit that you have. And in defending, actually the game puts a lot of emphasis on perfect guarding, which is having an ability, or having one of the costumes abilities be a guarded sort of thing, so that like when an enemy attacks, uses a magic spell, or attacks you physically, you have to time it so that it's like to incur less damage. The better your timing, the less damage you'll take. So I think it's within like 1/6 of a second. If you time your guard right when it hits you, it'll be a perfect guard, and you'll completely negate damage. That uses up a bit of the allotment of the space that you have. It uses up points that you have for attacking, but you also don't get any damage taken at all.
Nice.
Yeah, so it can get kind of hard because it does require a lot of timing. That, and the only way that you can heal yourself is by using items or these special abilities, which you have a limited amount of uses of in any given battle. So yeah, it can be quite a challenge. There was actually a part where I got stuck for a while over break. I actually went out and bought a collector's edition version of the guide, to help me along with it. So that helped out, and I was able to make it through. But yeah, it's actually quite difficult. Playing on normal is not easy. There's 2 difficulties when you're starting the game out. Easy and normal, and you apparently don't get anything extra by picking normal, other than the battle system's more difficult. Fighting's more difficult in the game. So I could have done without doing it on easy, or I could have done it on easy and probably had less of a challenge. But I don't really care. I'm actually enjoying the challenge.
Yeah, if you're gonna play the game, you might as well play the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I'm enjoying the story still, even if I am finding the game challenging. The big thing people complaining about is the time limit. There was actually an ability that I didn't even know about where you can stop time for like a period of time. I think maybe like a minute and a half in real world time, that I didn't know about until like a long time. So now I'm kind of starting to feel the pressure because my in-game time is running out pretty rapidly, and I still have a lot to do as far as the main quest is concerned. So I might have to restart the game, which might kind of suck, but we'll see where it goes. I'm having a lot of fun with it, like a lot more fun. As the game was getting closer to being released, I was a little skeptical. Like I wasn't sure if it was going to be everything that I wanted it to be. I've really been enjoying it quite a bit. It's been a very fulfilling experience of a game for me. It's got a quirky sense of humor about it, which is actually kind of welcome, because this is probably the bleakest story definitely in this trilogy. It's kind of one of the bleaker kind of games, Final Fantasy games I've played too. Just because there's this overwhelming sense of dread. It's a Majora's Mask kind of vibe that I think that sort of comes from the time limit, and the fact that the game really wants you to get more invested in saving people and helping people out. So, doing stuff in people's lives, doing side quests essentially. So, the music's great as always. I have pretty much nothing but good things to say about it. There are some things, there's some frame rate issues that I was not expecting. There are some, especially in like really crowded areas of the game where there's like a lot of people walking around, you can definitely see some jumps and skips in the frame rate, and there's some problems with that. But that and the graphics on on NPCs aren't really that great, and some things here and there look a little, but overall the graphics, they're okay. They look, it's pretty much the same. Everything is pretty much the same since the first 13, except on Lightning, because they've improved the main character models over the years, and it looks better than ever, really. But yeah, good game, really enjoying it. Don't listen to the critics; they don't know what they're talking about, in my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, that's
the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about that one. That was my favorite one too.
I'm so glad I got a soundboard to work.
But yeah, I just don't think. I mean, especially on merits of just gameplay alone, which sounds a lot better in this one. But it just seems people just hung up over that shit. That it's not what they wanted it to be, or what their vision, is what they think it should have been. All kinds of shit like that. But.
See, the thing is that this game is the most Western-inspired Final Fantasy game I've ever played. Like, the whole world is open to you almost from the very beginning. So you're free to go wherever you want, like right from the beginning. I think probably if you go to some areas, you'll probably there's probably kind of like a difficulty, kind of spike in some areas that you might feel, but especially because it feels to me that like a lot of the enemies in the way that I've been playing the game feels like enemies are still continually difficult, so I might be playing the game sort of in the way it's supposed to be played. But really, you can kind of just like have fun, search around wherever you want, do quests in whatever order you want. You can there's a lot of free reign, and I think it's basically the extreme opposite of what the original 13 was, where it was super linear, just telling a story. And I think the game's just as, I'm fine with both styles. Like, the thing I'm just baffled by was this everybody getting angry about Final Fantasy 13 being linear, because you can't have linearity in a Final Fantasy game, when that's the most preposterous thing I've ever heard. Because if you ever actually like played any of the earlier ones, because you couldn't go places because the game limited your explorability for a long time. Like, near the end you could search wherever you wanted, but like that's near the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing why I never really got into, I guess, RPGs for that matter, at least turn-based ones, because I mean storylines aren't a problem. It just depends on the gameplay itself, because I don't want to go back to Snatcher, but Snatcher, I guess mainly because it was a Kojima game, but that the breaking the fourth wall, but it was a text-based game. And I consider it an RPG, because it's literally what it was. But The gameplay, it was immersive enough to really get me into it. The core gameplay in early RPGs is all turn-based. Right. And it's all grinding, so you have to do so much of it. And kind of like I was saying with The Last of Us, I like The Last of Us, but the gameplay itself, even though it's supplemented the game of the narrative, just turn-based, it just never really did it for me. I think that's because at the core, I would rather be playing something more action-packed like Strider or Metal Gear Rising or what have you. But It seems like you were saying, like, it makes sense for those early games to be linear as hell. But I don't see do they not consider grinding? I mean, literally, I can see that not being a part of being linear. It gives you that sense of freedom, but honestly, it's grinding. It's just that. It's the same shit over and over again before you get to move forward and leveling up and everything. But it just, I don't know.
Right.
Let me jump to this before you go on to your next game. Real quick, have you played Pandora's Tower yet? It's been a while since we've talked, so I don't even know if you've...
No, I got the game on release. I played maybe the first couple stages of it, and I loved it. I thought it was just excellent. But I was in the middle of playing other games, so I didn't get a chance to really delve deeply into it. And then my brother got married and moved out and took his Wii, so I haven't had a chance to play it since.
I got you. I was just saying because that seems like, especially out of that trilogy of games, that seems like the one that would be the most appealing to me.
It got a Zelda vibe, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's like kind of Zelda, a little bit God of War, a little bit in the battle system. It's not as technically sound as that. And then there's some like puzzle solving elements too, which are probably where the Zelda part comes from. But yeah. So Lightning Returns, that's really been taking up a lot of my time. The other game, which I am almost done, is Virtue's Last Reward, which is the Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. It came out on the 3DS and Vita, and I got that for Christmas from our good friend Rockman Dash. He was a part of the PGRF Secret Santa, and
oh, that's right.
And he got me that, so yeah, I've been playing that, and the story is just phenomenal. It's just completely excellent. And I'm really nearing the end of the game now, and it's just gotten like, there are times where like I'll pause, like I won't pause the game because you progress the game by going through dialogue boxes, but I'll kind of like stop going through it, and I'll just like sort of like hold my head in my hand, and I'll just be like, holy cow, like I didn't see stuff like this coming, or things that I had suspected were coming true, some of that stuff still surprises me because it's like, holy cow, like the way it, in the way the story develops, it's really, really interesting. So really been enjoying that. I can't recommend the series enough. Though it is kind of sad because the director came out and said that the supposed, the third game in the trilogy, it's getting put on the back burner. It's the games don't sell very well in Japan, or haven't sold well in Japan. And I think Virtue's Last Reward was a little bit more expensive to make than 999 was. Especially because the graphics are pretty nice in it. The 3D is quite standout in that game, and there's a Vita port, so there's none of that. But yeah, there's something like 26 endings or something in this one.
Is it a direct sequel or just like spiritual sequel, or?
It's a direct sequel.
Okay, because I want to mention, because I don't know, I want to say the last time I looked into getting that 999 was, I think it's gone up in price, but either way, I want to say it's either out now or it's coming out shortly
on iOS.
So I'm definitely going to pick it up there.
Actually, just did our radio shows tonight, and I actually mentioned it on there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, double duty night.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, hey, dude. Well, real quick, it's been so long, but you want to tell people about that, or at least how they can find you on there? Or
yeah, so
your other show?
It's because like nobody listens to us even here, so it's kind of like the radio stuff at my school is basically like the most neglected to be advertised, neglected to be promoted, and neglected to be like it's the most untapped potential here at my school, I'd say, because it's such a great outlet, and it's such an interesting, you get such a huge variety of shows and everything. It's a real shame that like a lot of the time there's like you talk to like pretty much any person here. I even tell people about it, and they just don't listen because I don't fucking know why. It's just like a bunch of dicks. But in any case, I do a radio show with my friend Chris here on at school. We talk about anime and video games. We talk about the latest news that we've discovered. We do segments that we do on here. We do games we've been playing recently and anime we've been watching recently, and this is all done in just half hour. We really just smash through it. We really get through it, and we have a lot of fun. We even play some musical interludes and stuff, and we take a break. We come in with an intro song, and we have that's new every week, and we have a break music that's new every week, and of course an ending that's new every week, and it's really great. We call our show Shonen Grump, and that's kind of a play on the magazine Shonen Jump, which is it's basically a magazine in Japan that's for manga. You have manga in there and stuff. So, but Grump, of course, is for mine and Chris's love of the game Grumps. So that's where that sort of comes from. We were just like, we were when we were brainstorming, it was just like that just sort of came up, and we laughed so hard when we first said it. And we're like, we need to go with that name. So, yeah, it's every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, or Daylight Time, I guess it is now. And we go for a half hour, and that's it. Once a week. I've been planning on, I have all the episodes on my computer. I have them on a flash drive, to get up, and so people can listen to a backlog and hear me and my friend Chris just, have a good time. But yeah, see the thing. I think one of the reasons why I haven't done it is because sometimes the techs, the radio techs just suck. Like sometimes they just do such a, that either they start playing the music and then it's too low and we have to continually like tell them no, put it up, and then like they just don't get it. Like a lot of the times it's like, just God, what is?
Oh, so wait, so you have your own production team, right?
Yeah, they're basically they're basically just other students though. They're they're techs or whatever, except they don't know computer technologies from Adam. So, so
they wouldn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, basically.
Yeah, it sure feels like that sometimes. Like 2 shows ago, all of a sudden, we went in the booth, and then all of a sudden the mics were on, and my friend Chris was like, "Okay, I guess we're on now. Alec, how's it going?" I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a cold open this time, I guess." It's like that's kind of unusual for us. Basically, that was our way of just making fun of the techs for not knowing what was going on. And then it was like, and then I was like, so we're gonna have a little bit of music here, right, Chris? And he's like, yeah, so we're gonna get some music going here, and then, so we just basically just ripped the techs apart, because
shit.
Because they were just like, because every time it's just a bunch of dumb girls, like if I'm being honest, like that's. I'm trying to think if there is a guy tech. Oh no, there is one group that's like a couple of guys, and they're usually pretty good. But man, I don't know. It's pretty rough. But so yeah, I think one of the reasons I haven't put it up anyways was because I want to go back and edit out some of the mistakes that they made in regards to that. And I know that there's some weird cuts of our episodes where they either cut us off too early, or we have some of the next show on our recordings, which is kind of awkward. Or remainders of the last one on our recording, which again is kind of awkward. Because the one we have before, I think they talk about like world news, and then the next one is like I'm trying to think of what it is. I think it's like, yeah, they do, the one before us is like world news and indie rock, and then like the show after ours is like black news, like and so it's like it's just like the most, like we're just like in the middle. It's like, and here's here's your indie rock, and then you got anime and video games, and then you've got like, it's just a weird, like, we're right in the middle kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have episodes up eventually. You can listen to a whole backlog. We already have some up already. I don't remember where it is. I'll probably post in the forums on this when this episode gets posted though, so we can get some, hopefully some more listeners. I posted in the forums a while ago about it, and then like no one cared, so I was kind of like, oh. Okay. But
I would worry about that too much. The forums have just been It's quite the dry spell, which I don't even.
Yeah.
I barely go there anymore, and I don't. I'm not part of the solution, but hopefully the Virtue Guild and everybody, at least they're still conversing
Thriving.
off the site, I guess.
Yeah, there's still activity. It's not like as huge as it used to be, but like it's still there. There have been some spikes where people all of a sudden get like really active again. That happened for a couple of weeks here, but it it's kind of dwindled back down again. So, but yeah, Virtue's Last Reward though, great game. 999, yeah, Botsa, look into it on iOS.
Nice.
I'm gonna look up the prices though, because I wasn't aware if it was going up. Like it was going up though.
I won't say I looked into it. I think it was up there.
No, I'm looking here on Amazon. It's about the same where it was. About $20, 1986, or you can get it for like $14 here. You get it like 14. You get the crap box, what I consider the crap box art, but whatever.
Yeah, is that a reprint?
Yeah, they reprinted it. Yeah.
Oh.
I was fortunate enough to get the one with the what am I just? Yeah, I got the one with the box art that I really liked on it. The one that we was featured with the 9 Pete's and 9 bosses and that one.
Oh yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah. I want to say because when I did look into it, I know which new cover art you're talking about. I didn't know if that was a reprint of what was going on, because I remember the other one because all that fan art from the doors and boxes and everything,
Yeah.
and I guess I was looking for that one, so I didn't know for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the other one has like 2 hands and then the giant zero mask in the background. So it's kind of boring and actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, kind of ugly. I don't like it. The Virtual Sword art's good though. I like that, so it works for what it's worth. And yeah, the game is just excellent. The only problem that I have with the original cover, yeah, that's really expensive. Holy cow, like $70.
Oh shit!
Wow.
What?
Okay, let's just say okay. I'm at work. I work at a TV station, right? Working the overnight shift.
Uh-huh.
Okay, literally like 2 minutes ago, all 3 stations went off the air. We lost signal, and I was like, "Fuck!" And normally it's just the transmitter problems. The signal, it'll come back up, and all stations came back on. If it would have stayed up, I would have, look into it, probably get engineering on the phone and hash this out. I would have had to leave early. That's one thing. That's not why I said oh shit. I said oh shit is because I don't work tomorrow night. I work Saturday middle shift. Guess what? In every week, every Friday, we have a movie of the week. Which this is usually we air shitty movies. Guess what movie we're airing tomorrow night, which I won't be here to watch?
Willow.
Mr. Mom. And I haven't seen that in years. But it's in the database, so I can rip copies of it. Yeah, Michael Keaton and Mr. Mom.
Oh my god.
I love the fact that you just paused everything for that.
Well, dude, I love Mr. I haven't seen Mr. Mom shit since I was probably 10 years old. I fucking love that movie.
That's
yeah,
really
sorry. Anyway, continue.
There was a limited release at one point. They have it listed on Wikipedia.
I'm gonna definitely steal those files on a pen drive because shit, I don't even think that's on Netflix. Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom went on to receive generally positive reviews and is currently regarded by many to not only be one of the best films of 1983, but also one of the best films of the decade in general. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Someone came in and added that.
Is it like on a Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
The best movie thing.
Yeah, right. It does have an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
That would have been perfect, too, because I'm trying to think of the last movie I had. Okay, the last shitty movie I had to... I don't watch it up here, because obviously I'm recording the podcast now. I'm going to work done for it now. But besides the point, there was some shitty, like, Spy Kids movie that was starring Pauly Shore, and it was fucking horrible. And it was just stupid as shit. And it's just, and now we get quality like Mr. Mom, and I'm not gonna be here to watch it.
You had to watch a short movie.
Sure.
Well, technically, yeah, I'll watch it if in case anybody's listening, to monitor the signal and make sure it goes on there. Make sure it doesn't have any abrupt. But yeah, I wasn't watching that shit. That's the bad thing. It's like that's the thing. Is like back when back when we were getting into All Gen Gamers, at least I was, way back when. That was the thing. Is like work up here recording a podcast now. I would be able to listen to like episodes easy, just to kill time.
Yeah.
But can't watch Mr. Mom.
Oh shit, Mr. Mom. That's just great. I love how you just kind of looked across and you're like, oh man, I can't watch it.
Which this one, I'm setting up the logs for tomorrow in the automation, and I look down because I got to plug in. I was like, oh, what's the movie of the week? Look, Friday, a movie, 2:05 a.m. movie, Friday only, Mr. Mom, MGM Showcase. Oh man.
One of my all-time favorite sound effects in anything. But yeah, 99% of the iOS port is that there's no Zillicon. So it's just going to be a visual novel, which is fine because the story is just spectacular in it. But I really liked the puzzles in that game though. Like the puzzles are really fun. So that's kind of too bad. But what can you do? Sometimes. That's pretty much all I've been playing though. Some Call of Duty in there with friends and I can't really,
Call of Duty. Here's a side note. I'm checking in the folder. We actually have Mr. Mom in both standard definition and high definition. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
Here's some of the other movies. Okay, Adventureland. That wasn't really a great movie, but that's still weird. That a couple weeks ago. Brother Bear, whatever the hell that is.
That Disney movie. It's a shit movie.
Opposite Day. Oh, fuck. Summer Rental. We got that. That's a John Candy classic right there. We're starting to air some good shit.
It's about time, huh?
Damn.
and I'm sure it's always when you're not around, too.
Apparently.
Just like, oh shit, Mr. Mom.
I'm really bummed about that because normally I work Fridays, and I have to come in Saturday to cover for somebody, so it sucks. Because like right now, there's infomercials, and we're up to CBS early morning news, so it's all blah. But the one time you actually get the hidden gem of a movie, I'm denied. Okay, but anyway, you were playing Call of Duty with some friends.
Yeah, some friends. I do zombies in that, and sometimes multiplayer, but I'm just garbage at that. Like, I just do that just kind of pass the time and hang out with people. But, and other than that, yeah, really pretty much nothing. I've been trying to focus mainly on those two games and getting through them. I have picked up quite a few games recently. Like I was telling you guys before, I keep buying PS3 games for the PS3 that I don't own yet. One of those is Final Fantasy 13. No, not 13. Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 HD Remastered. I got the collector's edition of that. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, which came out in February. And I probably mentioned, I don't know if I did ever mention this, but the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD remix. I got the collector's edition of that, and that came out in September. And that's about it for that. But geez, I've got a problem. I need to actually get one of these systems now. But yeah,
honestly, I would say get the PS3, the top loader, or the one that the tray opens up at the top.
Yeah, I wish. I kind of want to. That's the super slim, right? Because see, the great thing about that is, I won't have any disk drive problems in the future.
Exactly. I was gonna say because this is the ejection alone. But if you get that bundle with The Last of Us, for like $260, go with that. That's a better deal.
Yeah, it is a great deal. So I'm just looking at I've also been oh shoot, what was I thinking? I mean, I've just been watching tons of anime, which has been really fun, and there's some DVDs and stuff like. Oh God, there's just so much to get in so little time, That's the kind of problem of life. So much you'd like to see or play or own, and it's, you know, not enough time to enjoy all of it. But what can you do? Anyways, I think it's time for the grand peg door.
The grand finale.
The grand finale, you could say, and then we can wrap this up because I want to go to bed.
Oh man. That's
I
another
couldn't
thing.
resist.
Hey, look, we'll have to, because I thought WrestleMania was coming up sooner. We'll have to record again pretty soon. And Chrono, if you can't make it, hopefully you can. But if not, me and Nick will have to record because we don't want to bore you too much with wrestling talk. But WrestleMania is.
Funnily enough, I was actually telling Pegasus when there was a time where you went off. Every single time I've been to the like late night food thing here on campus, someone's been watching wrestling on the TV down there. I've never seen this before in my life. It's always basketball or hockey or something. Nope, it's been fucking wrestling, and I'm so excited every time I see it because I'm like, people still watch wrestling. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
I basically said thank God it's not the horrible Vince Russo shit.
Yeah, it wasn't him. So.
Because Vince Russo couldn't book a halfway decent show if he worked on it for 20 years.
You know, there was this one great time where me and some friends went to McDonald's at like 12:30 in the morning, because there's this one around here that keeps the place, you know, the inside open all night long. So we went in there, and up on the TV, there was, first of all, there was like, what came on after was some like cheap ass Andy McDowell like movie. I don't know what was going on, but it was weird. But in any case, what was on before was local wrestling, and this was the best thing I think I've ever seen in my life because it looked like really sketch because of how shady, like how like everything looked like it was being shot in the dark with like maybe like one light above everything, and there weren't that many people in the crowd, so it was quite entertaining, let me tell you.
Well, I can imagine.
It was like Eastern Massachusetts wrestling or something like that.
Damn.
I was like, what is this? So yeah, peg door. Go for it.
The reason I played the Stone Cold themes is because I got a couple of wrestling games on here.
Oh, nice.
So I did them for a couple of my Friday Fight Night videos. I did a WWF Royal Rumble, which is straight up. There's not a lot of depth to the game, but straight up arcadey. And the weird thing is, to get the counter to go down in a Rumble match, is you have to eliminate them yourself. If one of the computer players eliminates one of them, the counter stays the same. And there's only like 9 or 10 guys on the roster in the game, so you'll see like Stone Cold come out 5 times, or but it's on the Dreamcast. I picked that up.
The same wrestler time.
There's only like 5 or 10. There's only like 10 guys on the actual game, on the roster, in the game.
I think I remember seeing that video you did, the Friday Fight Night, but I never knew that actually existed. I was actually surprised that if that was like a Dreamcast exclusive.
It is.
It's like back when I had Attitude for the one.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, because like you mentioned Celebrity Deathmatch earlier, like that was the game me and my friends started playing. Like we used to all get together and watch wrestling and play that. And like one of my friends, it was funny because like I like Buffy, like Charmed, and give me shit, but like Shannon Dare, whatever her name is, she was in the game. He used to beat the shit out of everybody. But around that time, that's when we switched to SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, and then we played like we started playing the SmackDown games each year up until 06, I think. But before it all started with that fucking Celebrity Deathmatch game.
Shit.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold was a recurring character on the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what got me into wrestling. It's because Stone Cold was a recurring character on that show, and I flipped on Raw one day, so.
I need to look up some clips because there was pretty funny at some points.
Oh, that show was so good. It was so violent, but it was good. I mean, they even revived it in, it was 2006 and 2007. So.
I didn't even know that.
The game is, if you can find it for like $1 or $2, pick it up. It's definitely worth a play, but it's not. I paid $20 for it. It wasn't worth that. Holy
What's that?
crap!
Royal Rumble?
No, it's Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh, okay.
I think I only paid like $8 for WWF Royal Rumble, but it's one of the only 2 wrestling games, or at least WWF games, on the Dreamcast, because I have the ECW Hardcore Revolution. And like Attitude and Revolution have the same base control scheme, kind of the same control.
Oh yeah, it's the exact same engine. I was about to say that.
Yeah,
because I remember
same
when
engine, and it's
I remember
clunky.
I remember when they finally released that game. Like I was looking forward to it, being an ECW fan, and like everybody, my cousins, my friends, were all pissed off because it was Attitude with new skins. But
Pretty much, and the added functionality of barbed wire matches and oh man, it's. And then the Anarchy Rules ECW game, it had that insanely strange ring zone match, where there's like lava around the ring, and you have to throw your opponent out into the lava.
I forgot. Like I've forgotten that existed. I never played that one, and I never played the WCW. Was it like Backstage Assault or something?
That one I've never played. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, by that point, I was just sticking true to like WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy and Revenge and all that stuff.
A lot of people consider No Mercy the best one. I think SmackDown 2 is the best one of that era, which I've been playing, but
nice.
With how much time I had sunk into that one. Holy shit, I sunk so much time into that game. It was, I'd rented it quite a bit, and I ended up buying it. And I was also playing SmackDown 1, which I got from Zach, ZRPG, for the Secret Santa. So, but like with SmackDown 2, I had fallen for some of these fake codes as a kid. Like, I printed off this entire sheet of stuff, and like one of them was, if you play as the Undertaker for a year without losing a match, you can unlock his Roland music. I'm like, of course, as a kid, I fell for it, not realizing it wasn't true. So,
well, hey, if Zach gave you the first one, you played on it, right?
I do.
Nine.
Yeah, I
because I think the second one, Just Bring It, was the one I don't think I've ever played that one. That's the third one?
Just Bring It was on the PS2.
Yeah. That's the one. I don't think I ever played SmackDown 2 for the PS1 either. But those two, the first one and then Shut Your Mouth is when I got back into it real big. But I still need to pick up.
Shut Your Mouth was really good. Here Comes the Pain was another really good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
and
was
then and from there it went to SmackDown vs. Raw, and then SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007, and now it's W12, 13, now it's 2K14. Because THQ went under, so now 2K has WWE rights. Thank God Stick of Truth came out, which I had to pick up. I've been watching Let's Play Stick of Truth. That game is so fucking hilarious. Like, I was asking, because Anzi was playing it, and he mentioned he talked about the censorship. That, I can't even talk. Because I guess Caroline was playing it. And I asked, well, how bad could it be, or how bad is it? And he's like, well, there's the scene where Randy's getting ass fucked. There's a scene where Randy is getting anal probe. Full-blown anal probe. And the probe looks like a fucking dildo, and there's another scene where I guess Randy gets an abortion, where you have to give Randy an abortion. It's unbelievably absurd, but there's so many...
It's an abortion, shit.
Yeah,
it's like, what is this game? This sounds ridiculous.
It's South Park.
Yeah, I know, but
there's
still.
so many injustices. I mean, you have to go around and collect the Chimpokemon. There's...
Oh my god, there's a Chin Pokemon?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
There's like a stage where you go into Canada, there's all kinds of... you've got, Shitty Walk. It's so funny.
Pokemon.
Like, the main weapon, you remember the Fusro Da from Skyrim? Well, think of that your ass.
Nice.
The power part, I'm not even playing, I'm watching a playthrough, and it's like, I have to play this game. It's unbelievable. I'm just so glad it came out.
Mm.
Because I think it just might top Tenderman's Revenge. Because I think that is easily one of the best South Park games.
I mean, there's a lot of them that were just garbage for a long time.
It's Chef's Love Shack, you had South Park, you had...
Yeah, the one for the N64, like the first-person shooter with the snowballs.
Oh.
That was the first and only one I bought. I remember, like, I let a friend borrow it, and he tried to give it back, and I was like, nah, just keep it.
No, just keep it, yeah. Oh, man, because I had Tenderman's Revenge as one of my summer backlog challenges, and I went through that, and that game, side-scrolling platformer, awesome. So, tangents aside, these I wanted to, because I went on a PS1 kick, so I was playing a lot of Mega Man 8. And, great game. Definitely, the voice acting, Dr. Wowie. That's all you need to know.
Dr. Wowie.
Yeah.
If we find that media, we can stop Dr. Wowie.
Oh God, it's a good game though.
I think my favorite thing was the one where he's talking and then he's like, what, Mega Man?
Oh, man.
Like there's a straight up W right before Mega Man.
Oh, yeah, it's funny because like 7 and 8 had a weird we didn't get a pick from the 8 Robot Masters right off, and one of the YouTubers I watch, Aqualung, he did the review walkthrough of every one of the games. In fact, there's someone on YouTube actually spliced them all together with like the little promo cartoons. And in Mega Man, like, he actually brought up a good point. It makes the finding, the boss weaknesses easier.
Because you fight the first one right off.
Yeah, because you end up, you fight, because you only got 4, then you have the interlude stage, and then you have fought the other 4. And, Mega Man 9 and 10, you gotta select from the 8, so. But yeah, Mega Man 8, it's definitely the best in the, the classic series. I definitely, put 2 or 3 above as the best, but. Still, I want to try and pick up every one of the classic Mega Man games, and I ended up starting with 8. I'm thinking that might be the cheapest. I don't know. Let's see, Siphon Filter on PS1. Third-person shooter that it's kind of a stealth game. It's definitely... I'm not even that far into it to really judge it, but it's okay. You gotta go around like doing... You have to go around and find a switch. It's kind of... It's been a while since I played it, because I was playing it, and then I picked up my Vita. So I ended up stopping playing it. But it's a good game. It's not the most fluid shooter, but it's actually it's okay. And are we losing Botsa?
I think we lost something.
Shit.
Uh-oh. He's got to be right back. He'll be back. But in any case, keep going.
Yeah, Siphon Filter, I'll have to really play more into it to really talk more about it, because it's literally been 2 or a month and a half since I even played it, because I bought my Vita, so. Yeah, let's see. But Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's definitely, because I have the first one and the third one on the PS1. And I think I have Enter the Dragonfly on the GameCube. But this one, I remember, and I actually went through and I found everything. Every gem, saved every dragon. Went through and got in the Nasty Nork's vault. And which is basically just an entire, treasure stage, but you have to get the key to unlock because it's like a flying stage, and you actually have to beat all the flying stages, getting all the freaking items in one go to max everything out.
Wow. And
some of those stages are a pain in the ass. Not a fan of them. But the big treasure ball is a flying stage, but you have to unlock the key to get to each level. So it's... And it's only the second time I've gone through the game and decided, well, let's see, I'm going to play through this again. I'm going to find everything. And I pretty much found everything without a strategy guide. I think I used the guide as a general idea on the flying stage, so that I see which ones to hit first, but yeah.
Right.
Let's see, Movement 8, let's do that. I think I did mention. I think I mentioned ABG Adventures before. That one.
Yeah.
And I had finished that. Fucking amazing. It was nice because I just basically plugged my computer and my TV, got a controller plugged in, and just played it right on my TV.
Right on.
That's the only way. Because I could have easily played on my computer with a controller, but you have to have a fucking controller. There was no way you can play this kind of platformer with keyboard controls, because the jumps and some of the spaces you have to fit into are insane.
Just like Super Meat Boy, huh?
Yeah, the complete AVGN complete AVGN humor. I mean, you have like one level is called Asshole Vania. You have in the first like the little in the little like the training stage, you're chased by excellent. Nagy, the patronizing firefly. There's actually an achievement for killing that firefly in the end. So
that's great.
I mean, there's stuff like you kill Santa Claus and then you ride his corpse down a mountain. You have the Atari porn level.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes, an Atari porn level.
Beat him and eat him.
Oh, full blown, beat him and eat him. The frickin'
yes. That's the best.
Custer's Revenge is a boss. God. Those games are so tame now.
That game's it's so bad though. Like I can't even believe that was made like by a human being.
I know, it's some sick freak pixelated, ugly looking figures, I guess. They're so strange.
That you had to special request over the counter.
Ugh.
Botsa, yeah, let's see. Can I get some beat 'em and eat 'em, please?
Oh God, it's just insane. You look like video game controversy. That was definitely one of the earliest ones.
Are you behind us, Botsa, somehow? Like
yeah, I said, yeah, give him something to beat him and eat him.
Some people special requested that.
That's amazing. That I mean, you look at games now; those are insanely tame. You look at the shitstorm of controversy with, the violence in video games.
Yeah, GTA 5 and stuff,
Oh, man. The series that's the bane of Jack Thompson's existence.
I haven't heard much from him lately, which has been kind of nice.
Thank God. Maybe he stayed under the rock he's been living under all his life. But, I mean, if it wasn't for these trials, we wouldn't have a rating system. So, a good thing came from it.
Yeah.
But... oh man, I would love to punch Jack Thompson in the face.
Yeah,
and especially it's the conservative media loves to bitch about this stuff. Anytime there's some shooting, let's like the military guy that shot up the airbase or whatever. They were blaming GTA 5, even though the shooting happened the day before the game came out.
Oh, yeah, isn't it great?
Oh God, yeah, facts. Yeah. Conservatives don't need them. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into a whole rant about this.
Watch it now, there, Pegasus. I'm a conservative and I like the facts. I just hate media. But that's a whole nother topic.
I am not going to get into that.
Let's stay gaming.
Because I am going to rant here on a game because I'm doing it, and it's funny. I got a couple of scripts worked out on a couple of videos I want to do, and I'm actually recording the game footage for this one now. I've been playing Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Oh God.
Oh my God. And it's funny because I'm actually gonna play the Genesis version as well, because I'm just gonna do a comparison of it, just those two games. Because if I try to compare every port of that game, I will lose my mind. I don't think I can find an emulator for the ZX Spectrum. So, you want to talk a way to make a bad platformer? That's it. You're super jump. You slide around on ice. The controls are unbelievably fucked. You have to hit select to pause the game. You have to select the pause option.
Fuck that game.
I know. And when you get to the instant death cement, holy shit. in like the first section, if you jump on one of the second like candy bar looking thing, it will actually fly you over that section. But there's no continues. So you start off with like 3 lives, 2 hits, and no continues. Oh my god! The only reason I ever bought that game is because it was Simpsons. And thank God there are better Simpsons games later on. But this one is the controls is what ruins that game. The controls.
They're just that bad, huh?
Yeah, you gotta make at least a halfway competent platformer, and the fact that you have to switch items to use, like in the first stage you have to buy a wrench to use on a fire hydrant to ruin the awning that I guess has wet paint on it. And it's clunky when you want to switch to your X-ray glasses to try and see that this guy walking by is actually an alien and not a human, because if you jump on a human, you take a hit. But I had actually never done this as a kid either, because I never knew about like the candy bar little shortcut thing, but I had never, until I started playing through this game, used the coin at the payphone to prank call Mo. And he comes out and you have to spray paint him for one of the goals. So a couple of the prank calls, you have Stupid Idiot, you have Isabel ringing, and you have I am a dope. And like in the third stage, you actually face Sideshow Bob, and they actually take a plot point from the first Sideshow Bob episode, Krusty Gets Framed. Basically, Bob's big, giant, ugly-looking feet bite him in the ass. I am debating where I'm going to try and beat the whole game. I kind of want to, but I think I'm going to completely lose. I think I beat it once on like a browser emulator. So it's definitely a beatable game, but you're going to be finding the controls the whole fucking way.
Yeah. Sounds like it, man.
Yeah. Now on to good games. Pokemon Leaf Green. I've been playing through that. I think I'm about a 28-hour mark. I've just been loading up the emulator, just plugging my computer into my TV, got a controller plugged in, just playing it straight off my TV. So I'm going through like the XIV Islands, I think is what they're called. It's like the whole set of bonuses.
Yes, the XIV Islands, yep.
So, and I didn't realize this until I left for the islands, is I didn't have my HM slave, my Raticate, in the party. So I had to teach, I think I taught my Golem one of the moves I needed. Rock Smash I had to use, so.
Well, I think there's a PC somewhere you could have used.
You can't use it until you finish the quest. There's like a quest where like the PC system doesn't work, and they're trying to fix it. So, but yeah, I've got.
Well, I mean, couldn't you take the boat back though? And
you can't.
Oh, that's weird. I thought.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, but yeah, my team right now consists of a level 42 Jolteon, a level 35 Pikachu, because I got 2 electric types because I'm going through the whole water area, and just run right through them with electric types. And then whenever the occasional poison type comes up, I just use my Alakazam, which is at level 44. That's what I like about emulators. The trade. Because I have an Alakazam, I have a level 34 Golem, and then I have I think at level 43 Gengar. So, and I pretty much was leveling the heck out of him, my Gengar, because I didn't even fight Sabrina until I beat Koga. Because I beat Erica, and then I beat Koga, went through all that stuff, and then I went up and beat Sabrina. Try and get that, because the ghost type just runs straight through. But you can get in trouble because dark types. There are dark types in this generation that weren't in the first generation. So the psychic types aren't insanely overpowered now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. They really fixed that.
Yeah,
In,
it was insane because I remember because I think I went like I first played through Red. I think I had like a guy I was fighting Sabino with. I was a pain in the ass because they're weak to each other. It seems like, but I think I had like as a backup, I had my War Turtle at the time, and then my Gyarados, which both have Bite, which was a Dark move. So there's that backup, and my Gyarados is at level 34 now. But I got a Blastoise at level 40. And that's right about where I'm at. There's like it's on the second or third island. There's a woman there that will teach your starting Pokemon the elemental version of Hyper Beam.
Yes.
So, that's right where I'm at, and this game is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather play it on the emulator as opposed to trying to track down the actual cartridge and bring fakes.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it'd be rough to do that.
That's what I'm worried about. I'd be so worried that I'm gonna buy unless I'm going to a local game store that has like I think I want to try either get Heart Gold or Soul Silver soon, because I go to a local store where they're being honest and they're gonna have a legit game as opposed to buying it from some off on eBay who may be counting it. So I'm definitely looking forward to finishing this game. It's been a good. I want to say 12 or 13 years since I finished a first-generation Pokemon game. I have actually, and I think that's the only generation I've ever finished. I never had, Gold or Silver or Crystal. I tried playing for Ruby, and I think I ever finished it. So, but like I said, the emulators be able to trade. That's the best part of it.
Yep.
So I love being able to, and it just basically trade between my same save file. Once you get the emulator to work, the trade is so nice. You just trade them, boom. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Hopefully next time we record, I'll actually have it finished, because I want to get back, because I'm kind of wanting to get back to it, but I've been playing a shit ton of Vita games. I bought a PlayStation Vita with my tax return.
Dude, right on.
Yeah, I got it to PlayStation Plus. I bought Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, physical game. There's no manual. I bought it used. No manual. At GameStop. And that's his favorite place. But
Check out GameStop.
Yeah. But with PlayStation Plus, I got like 5 free Vita games. I got like Uncharted, I got Wipeouts, I got Gravity Rush, which I actually finished.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Oh, it's really damn good.
Yeah,
I love manipulating gravity.
Yeah, I've heard that was like the must-have for the system for a while.
Oh yeah, the cutscenes. They're done like this comic art style. It's really damn good. It's a really enjoyable experience. I think it was a launch title, I believe, if I remember right. I could be wrong on this. So, yeah, let's see. A lot of look what I got because I have. Oh yeah, Sonic Transform All-Star Racing.
Oh yeah.
Have it on 360? Free on the Vita? Why the fuck not? I've already talked about this game on the podcast. It's one of the best racers on the system. So, well, I haven't really played too much of that, but futuristic racer, like kind of like with insane speeds, kind of like pod racing from Episode 1, but way better. Actually, I think the pod racing was the only cool thing about Episode 1. How bad that movie was. And I'm ashamed that was my first Star Wars movie. Was Episode 1.
Have you watched the originals since then?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, you need to.
I know, Zovan.
That's probably the biggest. See the thing about Zovan. Let's get back to him again. The thing about him is like, okay, look, he had so many Zelda games that he'd never played. Like, what the heck, man? Come on. I mean, Bots, I know you're listening. At least I hope you're listening. I mean, you remember Zob. I mean, he had like all those Zelda games he never played. I was like, what's the friggin' deal with that, huh?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Mario 64, but let's not talk about Zob and the Troll right now. It's funny, I went back and listened to the Rascals 50th, and the way he left, it was an absolute troll, and I said I had him on my mic, because I was about to bust out laughing and ruin, because I wanted to wait for him to introduce me into this podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to start laughing and just ruin the whole thing. But, Speaking of the Rad Rascals,
They're still going. It's pretty good.
Hotline Miami.
Oh yeah.
I got it for $250. It was a discount on the Vita through PlayStation Plus, and it's brutal. It is hard. It's one-hit death. You have to sneak around. You have to try and take everybody out, but you get all these kinds of weapons: lead pipes, baseball bats, knives, fucking shotguns, Uzis, assault rifles. It's insane. It's a bloody fucking game.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite gruesome.
It's good though.
Yeah.
And like the whole gimmick is you unlock you're basically this hitman, and to keep his identity secret, he wears these like rubber masks. So you have stuff, and like some of the masks give you different abilities. So like there's one where you start with the knife. There's another where the doors cause an instant kill. There's one where your punches are one-hit kills. And I guess they're doing a Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping that's at PAX. Hotline Miami 2, wrong number. Yep. Really, really want to see that at PAX if it's there. So
Yeah, I saw an article in Game Informer. I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm definitely down to pick that up.
Yeah, I still have to get go play the original, but I think it's only on Steam, maybe, and then PlayStation stuff. But I could be wrong about that. I could be. Wait, no, never mind. I'm looking that up on the second game. Second game's only coming out on Windows, PS3, PS4, and Vita. That's something there.
Wow. Sony again telling Xbox owners to go fuck themselves like they did with the Disputed series.
Well, that's kind of too bad. No, it's Windows, Vita, PS3 was the first Hotline Miami. So there you go. OS X and Linux.
Well, yeah.
Is that a game or is it a movie?
Hotline Miami?
Game.
Yeah, it's a game.
But yeah,
I was thinking it was a movie.
Yeah, in case anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Drive? You thinking like Drive? Because that's exactly what it's based on.
No, I'm thinking of that movie that Bracey talked about a while back. And I want to say, I think Terrence did like a review on 3 Kilobytes about it. Or maybe he was talking about the game, I don't know.
You're talking about Hotline Miami, and that's the game.
Yeah, what's the movie I'm thinking of, though?
I have no idea, because that's the game. That's what they talked about. Bracey talked about Hotline Miami on the show, I think, one time.
No, it was like an 80s movie that was like a lost 80s film that was being brought back.
Oh, shit. I know what you're talking about. Oh, my God, yes.
It was called something similar, at least to
yes. No, I know what you're talking about, because one of my favorite internet shows did a review of it. Are you in your car?
Yeah. In fact, can you guys hear an echo? Because I don't have headphones now, so I'm gonna try to be quiet though.
I'm gonna mute it again. Myself, but...
Okay.
That tick.
Anyway, continue.
Shoot. Oh yeah. What is that movie? Shoot. I'm just gonna go straight to Red Letter Media's website. I don't remember what it's called. Right off the top.
But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But basically, what I mean is that where X-Owners were basically told them to fuck themselves was when Undisputed 2010 came out, UFC game, is they got all the bonus fight footage. So they had the Stephan Bonner, Forrest Griffin fight first, Tough Enough. They had Lesnar Mirror 2, which had the infamous promo after fight interview that Lesnar did, and he said, "I'm gonna go home, drink a Coors Light, because Bud Light won't pay me anything." That got cut out. And I think it also had the bonus fighters, Hoist Gracie and Dan Severn and Jens Pulver, I believe. Not on the 360 version. So, I think TNA Impact, same thing. I think it was reversed because TNA Impact on the 360 had the one DLC pack, and the PS3 didn't have it. So it kind of went both ways, but so yeah. Hotline Miami. I'm
Yeah.
thinking Hotel Miami for some reason.
Hotel. Okay, so Batsa, the one you were thinking of, the movie that you're thinking of is Miami Connection.
Miami Connection.
That's it. That's it. No, it's funny because like I remember Bracy talking about it, and I forgot about it kind of.
Miami
I
Connection.
didn't watch the review on 3 Kilobytes, but I saw like because I thought it was the movie. I didn't want to spoil it. I was like Hotline Miami. I was like, oh, it must have been a good movie for them to be talking about.
No, they did it on Red Letter Media. They did a review of it. In addition to Deadly Prey and A Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And...
Yeah, now Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I know all about that one.
Oh hell yeah, that's
marvelous right there.
Yeah, that's a work of art, really.
Oh man.
Hey Nick, real quick, I wanted to. I don't know if you listen to them, but I think it's the company's podcast one. If you look on iTunes, like Stone Cold has a podcast. Who else? I think Jericho has one.
Yeah, I listened to. I just started listening to Chris Jericho. I listened to Austin's for a while.
Yeah, I started listening to those in like the last month or so, and then plus I started going back and listening to Cole Cabana's podcast. But lots of good wrestling podcasts out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I listened to a JBL and Michael Cole do one as well. That's actually really good. It's not about wrestling usually, but yeah.
JBL and Michael Cole.
And Michael Cole. Oh, yeah. I will not get into WrestleMania 27 and the infamous Raw GM overturn. Oh, that was probably the worst WrestleMania match ever. But I got 2 more games on this list.
And then I can go to bed, right?
Yeah. Jetpack Joy. So, you take... kind of compared to Temple Run in a way where it's kind of like an endless runner. But the whole it's basically like 2D, horizontal, and then you get you basically use a jetpack. And you're avoiding like missiles and these like zapper things. And there's all kinds of, you basically collect coins and tokens, and then like the tokens give you a spin, like a slot machine spin afterwards to get like power-ups or bonus coins or whatever it may be. But the humor comes from like you can get like different outfits. There's like the powered up hair and the super suit, which make you look exactly like Super Saiyan Goku. And I believe it's the powered up hair. Like one of them, the price is 9,001 coins. Over 9,000.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my god.
That's wonderful.
It's one of these games that I've been playing it so damn much, it's ridiculous. And you get like there's these different like equipment power-ups, I guess we can call them, and they each do different things. So like one will sometimes take up the zappers. There's one that slows down missiles. One that makes the coin, like some of the coins turn into high-value gems, but only coins minted in 1985. So there's a little significance with that year. That's right, 1985, yeah, the year that Super Mario Bros. Came out.
Mm.
And there's, again, like coin magnets and all kinds of stuff, but there was a whole thing in there where, like, there's, like, these special combos for items that, like, go together. So if you do, like, the high-value gems and the coin magnet, there's one that's called Ka-Ching. And I think there's, like, 25 of them. And there's all kinds of different jetpacks. Like, there's one that, shoots rainbows. There's, like, a machine gun one. There's one that just spits out money. That's like the golden piggy bank one. And like I was talking about, like, the power-ups, I think before we had started recording, there's one that is like the gravity suit from Gravity Guy. So you basically flop gravity, and then there's the Flappy Bird, the Prophet Bird. And you can actually upgrade those, so you can upgrade them to where they get like a magnet, so they'll attract coins. And then there's another one where you just turn them gold. So, like the Flappy Bird one, every time you flap, it just shits money. So It's a free game
Flappy
on the
Bird.
yeah, it's a free game on the Vita. So, and there's like an advertisement, like when you go into the thing, it like advertised Fruit Ninja. Before you actually start the game, when you select a game icon on the Vita, it will go into like a pre-home screen or whatever you want to call it before you can select the game. And on Jetpack Joyride, they're promoting Fruit Ninja. In fact, one of the jetpacks is a fruit jetpack, where it just uses fruit propulsion. So there's references to other, there's a lot of these references in there, Dragon Ball Z and other, little mini mobile games. So, yeah. And the final game I've been playing is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which I have finished.
Oh, right on.
It's good. I think they just released it on the 360 and PS3.
Yeah, it was the HD version.
Yeah, the HD version. But it doesn't have there's some Vita gimmicky, not really gimmicky because they work. There's points in the game where you have to open up a letter and you actually have to swipe across both touchscreens to open it. There's motion stuff in there. There's one where you actually try and decode something, you actually have to point it towards a bright light. So there's some interesting gimmicks in there that, yeah. I finished it. It's funny because I didn't go through and buy a whole lot of weapons, because I wasn't doing a lot of the side stuff. I was just going for the main story. And, Assassin's Creed, so you have all the counters and, the counter kills and stealth kills and, sneaking up behind somebody and shoving the hidden blade right into their heart, and there's combo kills where you kind of rack it up, and then you tap the touch screen. You hit one of the directional buttons, and you tap the touch screen to select multiple targets, and you just insta kill them. So it's nice because you're talking about how you got Final Fantasy X-10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this game, it's a female protagonist that isn't overly sexualized. Unlike 10-2, where pretty much the main female protagonists are, it's pure fan service.
Hey man, don't knock fan service. Fan service is a wonderful thing.
It is. I don't know about being with Riku, who's a 15-year-old girl.
Hey,
but...
hold on. She's not 15 in that game. She is not 15 in that game.
In 10-2?
No, she's not 15.
She's 17, I think, because it's 2 years after.
That's legal in some states in here.
Yeah. I'm actually just kind of referring to 10 when she was 15.
Yeah, she was 15 then.
So, it's funny because, when I first played Final Fantasy X, I was 15, I thought she was kind of hot. But now you look back at it from older perspective,
Jailbait.
Yes,
Jailbait.
Exactly.
Jailbait.
Exactly. The type of girl that Ted Nugent would go after. Oh my god. I am not going to talk any more about Ted Nugent. That was just the perfect shot.
Jailbait.
But
Jailbait.
Yeah. But okay, sorry, one more game. I'm trying to platinum slide.
Hey, Jailbait was a good song though.
I haven't listened to it. Bonza just pops in.
Hey, Jailbait was a good song.
Stranglehold and Jailbait, the best Ted Nugent songs. Not a big fan, but good song. It's a ridiculous song. Give you a little lyric. Wait a minute, officer. Put those handcuffs on me, put them on her, and I'll share her with you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yikes.
Fuck Ted Nugent. Fuck him. Oh god. So, Sly 4. I talked about the game when I first bought, because I got the Vita version for free, because I had bought the PS3 version. Gone through, I finished the second time on the Vita, going through cleanup, trying to get every trophy. I had gotten all the treasures. I had gotten all the clue bottles. I unlocked every safe. I got there's only 5 saves, and they all give you some kind of special ability. So you got Mugshot's coin, which I think it multiplies the amount of coins you get when you pickpocket. You got Clockwork's Eye, which reveal where the clue bottles are, and so there's all kinds of goofy, some of the treasures in there Like, there's one statue you find in, I think, the Clan of the Cave Raccoon stage, where it looks like Daxter from, in, like, loincloth. Not loincloth, like a tunic, whatever it may be. So there's all kinds of references to other games, and I guess I have to look. 'Cause I was looking at, like, the guide, because I'm going through trying to find every Sly mask as well. And I was looking around me, I was looking at the Easter eggs, and there's, like, Clockwork sightings. So there's certain points in the game where Clockwork will show up. Kind of like how in the first game, when you find that because you're going through trying to find the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus in the first game. In this one,
Right.
You're trying to protect it because someone's erasing Cooper history. Well, and when you beat the Panda King in the first game and you're going into the final stage where you face Clockwork, Sly mentions when he's looking through the photos, you can see like a shadowy depictions of an owl-like figure of Clockwork. So that's where that idea came from, is because like the first stage, you're Ryuichi Cooper, like, you know, where you learn the Ninja Spire jump. So it's just kind of nice they threw in these throwbacks to the older Sly games, which I guess they're releasing the HD collection, Sly collection, on the Vita in May, I believe.
Right on. You heard about the Sly movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring that up, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm like, I saw that. I think I shared it on Facebook. I'm like,
yeah.
Can I pre-order my tickets now?
Yeah, the trailer was really good. I mean, the one for Ratchet and Clank looks good too. So.
Oh, that's right. They're doing a Ratchet and Clank movie as well.
Yes, that's coming out the year before. I think it's coming out next year sometime. So.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one because I love the Ratchet and Clank series.
Yeah, they have a good sense of humor. So.
Oh yeah, but I'm actually really debating on picking up the Sly collection on the Vita. Rare.
It'd give you something on the Vita to play, though, you know?
Oh, yeah. Which is part of the reason I want to get the Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You can take that.
I actually haven't finished. I never finished 10-2, but it literally gave me something to play on the Vita.
Yeah.
So, but like with Sly, it's going to be me tripling down. I actually never... I'd borrowed a copy of Sly 3 from a friend. I've actually never owned it. But I own Sly 1 and 2. And I have the HD collection. And now I'm going to buy it on the Vita. So in a couple of those games, I'm tripling down.
Yes.
But I love that series.
Yeah.
So good. So I'm going through and I'm getting all the Sly masks. I'm one away. And some of them you have to find in like the arcade machines, which you can only unlock after you find all the treasures in that stage. Well, I backed out of the game for some reason. I was going back in, and I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at something on YouTube or whatever it may be, and I accidentally start a new game and save over my other save file.
Yay.
So I have to go through and find all that shit again.
Oh, man, that's the worst.
But, yeah, the plus side is there's some... Because I'm doing trophy cleanup, there's some, like, episode-specific trophies you have to go through in missions, so as I'm going through and replaying through the whole game, I might as well try and get them, because I just got the one where you have to defeat El Jefe without taking a hit. Not as bad as you might think, because there are checkpoints. So, you go through, like, one tower, and then it goes through a checkpoint, and then you go and find the next one. So, if you take a hit and you restart the checkpoint, you still start back at the tower you're about to fight them on. So that's a good thing. And I mean, like, there's like different like arcade machines, like you have to get high scores, one of the trophies, but I'm looking forward to getting every trophy on that game, get the platinum, and I guess when you get the platinum, you get like the super like secret like teaser trailer for I think Sly, like it's really a teaser for Sly 5. Similar to how in the Sly collection where you platinumed all 3 games and you got the trailer for Sly 4. So,
right on. But
there is one thing I will bring up. One of the trophies involves you have to get a perfect score on the belly dance part. It's in the Arabia stage where you basically have Carmelita dressed up as a belly dancer to distract the guards. And that, I think, is kind of catering to the furries.
Yes. the
Yeah.
phrase.
Oh my god. I am not gonna knock the game for that because
Okay,
I don't care.
so I came across an article that was defending, yeah, you heard this right, defending Space Jam. And there was one thing that it kind of acknowledged was that Lola Bunny was the most useless character ever. But then they also went and described it that he was shocked that anyone who grew up in the 90s somehow escaped with no furryisms because of all like the like characters that came out of the 90s that were like anthropomorphic animals
Oh
kind
yeah.
of thing. And I was like, yeah, they're kind of not a bad point, but well, look at me, I escaped.
Yeah, so I love Space Jam. I actually love that movie.
Oh, I don't like it.
Well, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I'm a big Looney Tunes fan.
Well, that's understandable. Yeah, I'm just
Bad
I
as
like
the movie is, because it isn't a great movie,
right.
I still enjoy it because it is goofy as
Yeah.
fuck.
All right, so I can understand that. I mean, I can't. I don't know. There's just I can't do it. Like I'm just something about it that just But
Yeah.
hey, each different strokes, but
Yep.
Whatever.
And I think that does it for me because
Oh, good. Because I gotta go to bed. I'm really tired.
yeah, we've been going 4.5 hours, 3.5 recording, and it's almost 5:30 where you are.
Yeah, fortunately I don't have class till 1, but I will have to get up a little earlier because I do have some homework to do that I didn't do tonight for obvious reasons.
Well, shit.
So, it's whatever.
Oh man,
I've done worse. I pulled more all-nighters this semester than I can shake a stick at. So yeah.
Oh man,
Is
yeah.
Bots, are you there? You want to close the episode out with us?
I'm still here.
No, okay, that's good.
Good.
I was just wondering, just open, You driving still?
I'm just driving on that lonesome highway. Yeah. I'm almost there.
The lonely road back home.
The lost highway.
That only road that you have ever known, huh? That lonely road. Green Day, Boulevard of Broken
The
Dreams.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams, yeah. So.
Oh man. Well, Chrono, you want to close it out so you can go get some sleep?
Oh God, you don't even know. It's just so enticing sitting right there. It's just that bed looking at me like that. Like, oh man.
You'll lay down and just pass out. It was like my buddy it was one of the weddings I was at this summer. We left the reception and we're getting ready to go out downtown Coeur d'Alene. And as soon as he laid down the bed, he passed out. He was out.
It'll be a good sleep. Just make sure you set the alarm and wake up in time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well. Yeah. See, that's been the problem. Is that like I have this horrible tendency of setting an alarm, and then not bothering to get up after it goes off, until I sleep for like another hour or something. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll
I have
see.
that horrible habit too.
Yeah.
My alarm will go off like, cause I have this like rock radio alarm I'm using now, so I have it set to a country music station, and I'll look at the time like, no, I should sleep another 10 minutes. I'll sleep another hour.
Yeah. It's whatever. But okay, I guess I'll close this out. Well, we're going good, and Batsa, it's nice to talk to you. Pegasus, nice to talk to you.
Yep.
Yeah, good catching up after all this time.
Yeah, we need to do this more often, definitely.
We do. Indeed.
Even
Let's
if
set
it's
something up.
Yeah, even if it's bi-weekly, like Algin.
Bi-yearly at this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
it is a bi-yearly podcast at this point.
For crying out loud, this is the first episode we've recorded in the new year. As it's 2014, you losers. I mean, that's.
Yep.
Shit. Well.
I was frozen today.
Had to.
I was reminiscing about the greatest, like one of the best Pegasus lines ever was, oh yeah, Super Mario 3D Land. Game was great. Easy as shit, though.
Oh, when you could get into the last castle with about 150 lives, oh, your game is easier than Kim Kardashian.
Oh, no.
Okay?
Yeah, hey, whoa.
Hey, she should actually be happy. She married a man that has a very unique honor to be the only man to be called a jackass by the President of the United States.
Kanye West is a jackass.
He is. He's an egomaniac.
I can just hear Obama saying that. That's the best part.
He actually did. He actually called Kanye a jackass.
The funny thing is, you can imagine him saying it, then like looking to the side, you know, doing that. Kind of looking back and forth, the audience.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's great. So, man, it's been a while since I said it. You know, on my other show, my ending line in that is "See you, Space Cowboy," which is a Cowboy Bebop reference.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've gotten to say it. So
Greatness of this line.
it's been good, guys. So, you know, Chrono League 9, the Users Podcast, saying end of line.